Welcome to the Tom Castro Shooting Academy podcast. You have now entered the next level. Let's go. All right. I am back. It's been a super long time since I've done a podcast of my own. So I decided to have a special guest on. One of my best friends in the world, somebody that I talk to every single day and, bounce life off of every single day. Mr. Alberto Colon, introduce yourself to the world, baby. Some of you know you. Some people know you. Some people have no idea who you are. So it's your time, baby. Give it to them.
Yeah, man. Thanks for letting me on here. So really do appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long time since you've been on the podcast. So I guess I'll introduce myself real quick. My name is Alberto Colon. I'm 41 years old. I currently reside here in Tampa, Florida, and I shoot USPSA. And we're great friends. So
this is my new training partner, probably the only training partner I've ever had.
Yeah.
I want to actually start off the podcast with just that alone. So I have most people that I've become friends with in this sport, I don't live near. I haven't had a chance to really have a training partner, somebody that kind of has the same drive that I have, same goals that I have. And it's kind of funny because, that being said, Alberto and I are in two different positions, right? Like I'm an instructor. I do this for a living, and he's kind of on his way up. I'm kind of up here. I don't even want to say that yet because I haven't really, finished what I want to do yet.
you're up there. Don't.
I haven't finished what I wanted to do yet, so I don't feel like I'm there yet. So that helps keep me driven, I guess. But it's been awesome. And actually, we've talked about this a lot recently. It's been awesome to have a training partner. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about, how important it is to have a training partner, not just the training partner, but also the right mindset of that training partner. So let's kind of dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Like I guess we could choosing the right training partner, because what ends up happening is you end up getting into this bucket of crabs, I guess you could say, where everyone wants to be the same level. Like, I'll tell you right now, like, I used to train with some people where they're like, oh, you're going to DQ if you do that, or you're going to break the 180 or whatever. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I was like, well, we're practicing here. So, or it just ridiculous shit. Like, my dot's not zeroed. I need to adjust my equipment. I said, no, we need to be on the range. Range time is very valuable, as you know, and we need to get after it. So, it's very important to have somebody who's very driven and that wants it as much as you do. Like for me, for instance, like my training partner, which is you, is way up here. So I'm like, all right, like he's gonna go get it. I need to go get it too. So if he's sweating, I need to be sweating. If he's doing like, let's go, more reps, I need to match that energy too, or exceed it somehow. So I'm working on that. There's some things there for sure, but I'm very blessed and honored to be a training partner of yours, or actually the training partner. So, but yeah, it's for those who are listening. Definitely, you need to find somebody who is willing to push and be driven. So, without that, you ain't going nowhere.
I think the biggest problem with training partners is honestly that, I would say outside of my experience with you, since really this is my only experience with a training partner, is you see a lot of backbiting, jealousy. I don't want somebody, like basically what you said earlier about crabs in a bucket. So anybody who doesn't know what crabs in a bucket is basically in real life, if you put crabs in a bucket, 10, 15 of them, whatever it is, if there is a crab that tries to escape that bucket, some other crab at the bottom will grab them and drag them down. So what ends up happening is, instead of that crab getting out and helping everyone else escape the bucket, nobody gets out. So
Nope.
For me, it's a very, very big deal that anybody I'm friends with or anybody I train with, that I'm not the best shooter. That if I'm the best shooter, then we have a problem in our friendship. We have a problem in our group. I need to bring that gentleman up or that girl up to my level instead of the other way around. I'm not going to drop down to that level. I want to bring everybody up to my level. So it becomes, it's kind of funny though, because I don't really feel like I'm your coach, even though obviously I coach you quite a bit. I don't ever feel like I'm your coach. Like if I see you do something wrong, I'm like, hey, you didn't do that. And instead of you going, oh, okay, you just like, all right, I got it. And then you go work on it. It's not one of those things where I think that's a big misconception. I think with a lot of training partners is, you're not really coaching each other. You're kind of like, hey dude, like pay attention to that. And sometimes we'll dive into a lesson. I'm like, hey, dude, this right here is really a giant weakness, or hey, dude, I suck at this. Let's work on this today, or whatever it
Hmm.
is.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people have a big misconception of training partners is like the better shooter is always coaching you. I don't think
No,
that's a good thing to that's
no,
not a training partner. You're
that's not a
basically,
great partner.
yeah, you're basically my student, and that's not how we
No.
train together.
Yeah, yeah. Like, wait a minute. He could be getting paid to do this right now. Yeah, I don't think he needs to be doing all that. But yeah, like I think a lot of it has to do with being critical, right? Like different type of level of criticism. So when you have like, I'll just say back to the crabs in the bucket. So the people on the bottom of the bucket are just normal people. They don't want to be exceptional. Those are the ones that are trying to crawl out. So nobody likes exceptionalism. They just like, whatever. I'm just gonna do the normal thing. They're not willing to push. They're not willing to drive. So those are the things that come with that. But yeah, back to the critical part is like they're being critical in the wrong places. So they'll be like, oh, wait a minute. You need like back to the DQ thing I was saying. Like that's not no, we're not here about that. We're here about shooting. Like if we do like fundamentals, we need to do fundamentals. Or if we're doing like a stage run, it's like, hey, this one section right here, you lost a second and a half because you didn't have the magazine and the mag will then push off. Stuff like that. So,
I mean, I
being
think pushing it to the DQ level is important because how do you really know what the ultimate push is, right? Like, so now obviously safety is a thing, but if you're on the range and you're doing practice and you're trying to push yourself, doing extra hard push offs or whatever it is, the best place to learn where those mistakes are going to come from is in practice. So
yeah.
the fact that someone's like, hey, don't push it too hard, you might break the 180 here, that's like the complete opposite of how we train. Like we
Oh
actually train to the point where it's like, all right, this sucks. Like, I don't know if I really like this
yeah.
kind
No,
of
no.
practice.
I just want to pack my shit and go home.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's kind of the part of the problem is I think that you get a group of like-minded friends together and you don't always have the one person that's like, hey, we got to be different. We got to do something different. I say this in my class a lot. It's funny because I just did a class. I just came back from Massachusetts, and the first thing I say to every single class is, "You are going to suck in this class," and they always laugh like super hard, to like, ha ha ha, like as if
I
I'm
did.
joking, and I'm like, no, no, I mean that. Like, and I tell them all, I said, if you don't suck in this class, I'm not doing my job. Like, I'm not pushing you. You are not in my class, at least in my opinion, and I won't allow students to be in my class that want to be the same shooter when they got there. I'm like, look, you're gonna not be the same shooter in this class. So when you're in this class, I want you to make mistakes. I want you to push past your comfort zone so that you understand like you have more in you. Plus, think about it. If you make mistakes in front of me, I can fix them. But if you just do the same old, like, cool, I got my C class results, you're never going to actually get better. And you're not going to know how to get better because you didn't do it in front of me. So to
Yeah,
me, that's what I push. I push that in my class a lot.
I think what it is like I think a lot of it has to do is with social media and the way the internet is. Like you see, oh, you need to shoot for alphas all the time, and say, well, you're not going to learn from hitting two alphas. You're going to learn from like an alpha mic. Oh, what caused the mic? What caused you hitting the no shoot? Why did you miss the seal? Those are if you don't make the mistakes, that's what's gonna. The mistakes are the learning lesson for you to get better. So, if you're not willing to push or you're not willing to do those things, then you're just going to be average. So,
Again, I think it takes a solid leader in whatever group you're in to really push the group. So like I don't know. It's hard to explain because like this is like I said, this is the first time I've really had an honest like true training partner because we've been able to train. Like if I call you up and say, hey man, let's train Saturday or Sunday, it's like, all right, cool, let's do it. And it's like, hey, let's go to the local match. All right, let's go do it. So the level of commitment also in training partners isn't easy, right? I've had this conversation a couple times with a few other top guys, and most top guys shoot by themselves, right? They
yeah.
don't, there's a reason why the top shooters are the top shooters, and that's because they're driven. They sacrifice a lot of their personal life, their personal time. Like, man, this year, in 8 years, this is the first year I took a family vacation. And I
It's nice.
squeezed it in. Yeah, and I squeezed it in. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't, and it's not because of shooting that I haven't taken a vacation, but I've been so driven to build this business and to become a great shooter that it's like All right, let me know when you want to do a family vacation, and if you don't, I'll
Uh,
volunteer in one.
yeah, man. You,
You
you
know?
you know you built this
Yeah.
nice fruit. You built this nice apple tree. You need to have an apple sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, we
Yeah.
do stuff. I mean, we do stuff together. It's just mostly local stuff, right? Like we live in Florida, so it's like there's not a whole
Disneyland,
lot of
dude.
places where, yeah, where am I going, dude? It's like
Where
we
am I
live
going?
like the beach is 5 minutes from my house. I'm like I could go there if I anytime we wanted. So it's like a lot of people's vacation destination is where I live. So
Exactly.
and I hate
Yeah.
the beach, bro. It's so dirty. It's gross. There's
Yeah. For those
it's
who are
not
listening,
my
the
jam.
Florida beaches are extremely overrated. So
It's not my
just like
jam, dude.
not my
Tourists,
jam
you
either.
know, it's
No,
I'm good.
no, no. I don't want to go to Universal Disney World. It's
Yeah.
hot and it's expensive. So no, none of that.
That's where we just went. We went to Universal for 3 or 4 days, and
Yeah.
the kids like it. You know, it's cool, and I got a lot of steps in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Hey,
uh
at
I
least
took
you
my
touched it.
kettlebells.
Yeah, took your belt. Yeah.
I
You
took my
touched it.
kettlebells with me, dude, because I was in the middle of that 8 week kettlebell program. I'm like, I'm going to go to this hotel that does not have kettlebells. So it was hilarious. I took the kettlebells up to the room and I carried them down to the gym every single day so I could continue on with that program. So I crushed it, dude. I got all 8 weeks in, so I was happy with that. It's probably the most dedicated I've been to a program in a long time. So I actually, I purchased a program and it was worth it because I definitely am stronger. I definitely lost some weight, and I just feel so much better. Like I just made a post today, and like how beat up I feel. Like this last couple of months, well, hell, honestly, the whole year has been pretty brutal. So like actually, I meant to ask you, we started training together at the beginning of the year, right? Like a couple months in after I started doing the PCC training, right?
So yeah, we started training together right when we got to the same range. Exactly. Yeah. So you needed a range, and
Yeah, as soon
then
as I got banned from, so probably February when I got banned
February.
from Guncraft for the bullshit
Yep. Yep.
after they tried to take my guns and shit. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
right
Right
around
after
February.
that.
So it's been almost, dude. It's been almost a year then. Okay. I mean, we were friends
Yeah.
before that. We've been going to matches, but never really like
Locked it in.
training together. Yeah, like not
Yeah.
never really were on the same page for training. So,
Oh yeah, I was there for all the PCC stuff. So
dude, I don't want to apologize now publicly on what I set up for PCC that you had to shoot with a
that was terrible.
pistol.
A 40-yard swinging plate. Oh, like,
I
what
did
the?
keep, I'm not going to lie, I did keep the 100-yard practices private, so you didn't have to deal with those.
No, yeah, that was terrible.
I
Oh, you
saved you
remember?
from that pain.
Yeah, it was painful. Well, yeah, I mean, you remember that one time Craig came up and it was the three swingers. He was
Yeah.
dying. I was like, yeah, this is pretty normal right
Yeah.
now.
Well, he's down in South Beach area, so he's Fort Lauderdale, and he goes to what is that, Homestead?
Homestead,
And
yeah.
the problem with Homestead is when you go there, it's kind of like our situation where you have to take everything down and put everything up.
Hmm.
You don't get to leave it up, so it's very difficult to. It takes a lot of time to do the kind of practice that we have. So, like for us, I guess we'll kind of dive into like how we practice now. Uh, when we practice, one of us usually gets there before the other, and then we have our range has a bunch of connexes where they provide stands, target sticks, and then we bring our own targets, and I bring swingers, steel. Alberto now has a plate swinger steel from Targets USA, a swinger from Targets USA that is
Hmm.
just basically flip a couple parts and boom, you got the swinger versus the steel plate. So we have lots of access to equipment, but we have to take it down and put it back up every time. So when we go out, it's usually a day's worth of training. We don't go for an hour or two, shoot 200 rounds. We go and bang out 1,000 rounds, 800 rounds, or whatever it is we feel like until we're really like, just like, hey man, this is kind of a waste of time. We're starting to die out. Um, but yeah, so like when we bring other people, they're kind of like, holy shit, like
Oh my
this is
God, are
how
you
you guys
serious?
train.
It's not for the week, that's for sure.
Yeah. So like that
Actually,
practice we had, Craig and I think we were about, dude, I think we were almost a week or 2 weeks. We was very close to us flying out for the world shoot.
I believe it
So,
was two
so
weeks.
I made that practice extremely difficult. Like there was plate swingers at 40 yards. We had a swinger at 40. I mean, 6-inch plates or 4-inch plates at 25, 40, and 50 yards. I mean, it was an insane, and it was not a great confidence building day.
No, dude, it was a
That's for
soul crushing
sure.
day. Soul crushing
Yeah.
for sure. I was like, these guys have rifles. I'm shooting with the open gun. I'm like, this is not good. It's not ideal.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it sucked for rifle too. Like it wasn't easy. That's the thing is distance, right? It doesn't really matter what you're shooting. Like, I mean, if I had an AR or something where I had maybe a different type of optic than a red dot, 70, 80 yards probably is a lot better with something you can zoom in on. You get a little bit more vision on it.
Hmm.
But I mean, honestly, man, that was the greatest thing that could have happened to me was that my friends talked me into, you included, talked me into taking that opportunity and going to PCC World Shoot because I didn't want to go originally. I was very disappointed in what I was hearing from the IPSC camp that they were going to make it a rifle match, and
Um,
I didn't want to shoot a rifle match. I don't practice rifle matches. I practice USPSA, IPSC styles, like handgun style stages. Everything's fast. I don't mind distance. I love challenges. That's not why I didn't like it. It's not my favorite jam to shoot rifle stuff. Now, again, if I was shooting a rifle, might be completely different. But shooting
mhm.
a 9 millimeter at 100 yards is not
That's
something
not
that
fun.
no, it's
That's
not
not
something I was
fun.
super excited about. You know, it just is
Mm-mm.
not my jam. So, and then obviously having no zoom in optics, no zoom optics, everything's got to be, your standard optic. I was like, dude, this just isn't. I mean, how many people have access to a 100-yard range? I mean,
Not a lot.
until I signed up into the range that you're at, Range Works in Florida here. I never had access to 100 yards to where I could run around and shoot a stage and then try to shoot 100 yards. It just wasn't. It just wasn't
No.
available.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand. Like even here in Florida, there's not a lot of places that you could shoot 100 yards that are close to us at least.
To me, that's a huge disadvantage as a competitor because someone from the West Coast, like most of the guys that, well, pretty much every single person on the World Shoot team
Hmm.
was from the West Coast, and they are extremely good or have lots of opportunities at shooting long distance. I mean, I know a couple of those guys are like, yeah, man, I just go out to the mountains and just start shooting shit. It's like, we
With
drive
a,
up, put our target up, and back down the road, and then I can just shoot in the mountains, and we just don't. Florida just
no,
doesn't have a lot of opportunities at long distance. Mainly, it's not so much the long distance; it's the non-table stuff where like I have to stand and shoot. You can't do that at most of the ranges here. So we're pretty fortunate that RangeWorks, the range that we're at, is
very
it,
suitable
it
for our
is
needs.
it is the best, dude. Like honestly,
Yeah.
the best range I've ever been on when it comes to practical shooting training and the type of work that we do. We have a
And
lot of access.
we could go fishing if we really wanted to.
Dude, that place is nuts. Like it really is. I mean, the fact that I'm in the middle of shooting and I turn around and there's this giant, beautiful pond behind me while I'm shooting is pretty pimp.
Dude, yeah, dude. Or if you really want to, you got the obstacle course, if you
Yeah,
really like it.
I only use the obstacle course when I make videos for people trying to arrest me from ice. That's the only time I'll use that obstacle course.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not using it again for that. But
Yeah,
that came out great, by the way. That
yeah,
was the best
dude.
one of the best
Get,
work.
Don't give me a chance to troll, brother. I'm gonna do it. I like it. It's fun. I like talking shit.
Hell yeah, dude. For some more reason that gets clicks, man. Like
Um,
you just posted something today, and within an hour it has like 3,000 views. I'm like,
with Katie. Yeah, with Katie.
Katie,
Yeah,
yeah, she's
that's
awesome,
awesome.
by the way.
So let's dive into a little bit. Like, I actually want to talk about her and her sister a little bit when we get a chance. But let's dive a little bit into what it's like to practice and like what. I guess I kind of let you have this one because I know how I practice, but I think people would be super interested in what it's like to practice with me and
Hmm.
kind of like my mindset on like what kind of practices I set up and those kind of things. So I'd love to hear this from you as well, because I don't think I've ever asked you,
No, I
like,
don't
what do
think
you
you
think
have.
about our practices?
No, you just said no. I get asked all the time from other people like, how's it like to train with Tom Castro? I think the best way I said it was like shooting five major matches in a row or something like that. But I guess it will have to be started is like we set up a stage, and we will always have a mover or two or three, and then the last one we did together, we had a 40-yard open paper, and we were shooting handguns, by the way, this time around. We weren't, PCC. It was all handguns, and it, it's nothing was closer than 18 yards. I think the swing and plate was 18 yards. Everything else was further than that, and that's pretty much the gist of the practice. Everything's far away, but I understand why you do it, and the reason why is because you're focusing more on your entries, your exits, the sense of calm, and the shooting portion, and then you really focus on those details more when things are at distance. So especially with handguns.
I think a lot of people I think a lot of people want to feel really, really good about themselves at practice. And I think that's very important. We've actually talked about this before about having, like, before a major match, I want to go get some confidence in myself, right? I want to gain confidence. I want to feel good about how I'm training. I don't want to go beat the shit out of myself, right? Like, I've done that for 6 months now, right? I've done 6 months of absolutely just destroying my soul and telling myself that I'm a terrible shooter, right? And obviously,
You're
I know
not
I'm not. I
terrible.
know I'm getting better, and it's just like, but at practice, there are going to be times when you walk away from those practices where you're like, did I really actually get better, or did I feel like I got worse? Right? Like it was so.
Well,
It's some. There's just those some practices are
mhm.
so discouraging because you're like, I feel like I had more losses than victories. Right?
Well, I would say this is where having a good training partner comes in. I was like, you were telling me, oh, I can't hit that target. I said, dude, Tom, that's 45 fucking yards, dude. Like, or whatever. Like, come on, just be realistic. You have two holes in there. Like that,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, speaking of which, like the importance of makeup shots too. Yeah, it
Yes,
costs a
that
lot
was
of
a
time.
yeah, that was actually, that was a big breakthrough. So I obviously knew for a while that I was having problems with makeup shots, and I remember coming back from area. I think it was
8.
area 8 was definitely an issue, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember if it was area 8 or area 7. I think it was area 8. No, it had to be from area 7 because I shot those matches back to back weekends, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember if you and I had a practice between then because usually we practice on weekends and don't get to practice during the week together at least, but. I came back from Area 7 and I remember saying to you, like, dude, I am fucking pissed. I'm not getting beat. I'm losing because I'm giving away stages, right? Like, all these guys are really, really good. So I can't make mistakes because they don't, right? Like, everybody makes mistakes. Don't get me wrong, but I'm making big mistakes. Basically, shooting 2 extra shots is a half a second. And that's if the target's at close, right? That's a quarter of a second, quarter of a second. So I just lost half a second there, a quarter of a second there, and a full second with 4 makeup shots. Long distance is absolutely brutal. So I'll never forget coming in on a target and shooting at a no shoot. And I had an alpha. Shit, I think I had 3 alphas on it. And I was absolutely furious. And you're like, dude,
Yeah.
what's wrong? And I was like, the effing no shoot on the entry. I just shot 3 shots at it and I didn't need it. He goes, yeah, but what did you see? I go, I thought I needed a makeup shot. And he goes, yeah, but because of that, isn't that a good thing? I go, and dude, I was so,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, fuck
Yeah.
no, it's not good, dude. I said, and then I go right to the timer. I go, look, a 64 makeup shot. And then
Yep.
you just looked at me like, okay, I get it. Like, now I see why you're so mad. I was like, dude, how many of those do I have in a match though? Like, that's what people don't understand. A 64 makeup shot is only 1 bullet. What if I take more than that? Especially distance targets. The more you take distance targets, makeup shots on those, you don't even realize that the bullet, no matter what you do, no matter how fast you go, that time is lost because the bullet's got to travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to read, okay, bad shot, makeup shot, the processing time, and then sending another one. It all equals up to be massive losses in your time. So
Mm-hmm.
again, what would it take for me to hit the target without the makeup shot? Just a 0.10 longer. And those are where I think I've made my biggest stride so far in my training. Like, again, everybody has their little list, but the better you get, the harder that list gets to execute. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely take less makeup shots now. That's for sure.
Dude, IPSC Nationals this year was yeah, I was jamming, dude. Like, I feel really good about where I was mentally with the makeup shots. I was locked in pretty well. We'll get into that later, but I was locked in pretty well. And the number one focus was just whatever time it takes, like whatever time it takes. And for a while there, I was smacking it. I had a lot, almost no makeup shots. Everything was locked in and focused where it needed to be. I mean, obviously I made some mistakes, or I would have won the match, right? Like, it's that
Yeah.
simple to go, oh, if I could have, would have, should have, but I made some pretty big mistakes in that match but they weren't for makeup shots, right? Like, in that. So again, every match I learned something. Every single match I learned something. And honestly, man, this is probably the best year of my shooting career. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's hard to say that though, because this is the hardest year I've ever shot. Like the competition this year,
It's brutal.
dude, it's
It's
great. Like
brutal. It's
people coming out of
brutal.
nowhere, young guys coming up, like it's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah,
It's
people I've
been
never
pretty
heard of
crazy.
for sure.
It's
Yeah.
been difficult. It's been difficult. I'm not gonna lie, dude. The age is my age is I'm starting to feel it's a lot harder to recover on day one or after day one. Day three at IPSC Nationals was pretty rough. I'm feeling the constant torture that I've been putting
hmm
myself through this year. Like I haven't talked about it publicly, but I had a real rough time after PCC World Shoot, after the way everything went down, all the training I did, all the hard work, and then to get sick. It was really hard to come back and get to go back to the gun. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough,
I
dude.
I know. I
It
I
was
know that
tough.
I don't have the same feeling, but I had a feeling like that, which we'll get into
Yeah. it
for
was
sure.
it was tough because I put so much work into that gun, and I knew I was better than how I finished, and I
hmm
shot better than I finished. I mean, I had a lot of stage wins at that match. I had a lot of top five finishes, like two, three, fours, and then I just had one day that I just physically fell off so bad, like actually 1.5 days, that physically I could not see or focus on anything. I mean, the closest target, I was like, I have no idea what I got. And that's not me. That wasn't where I was as a shooter. I had completely locked into that gun, and it just fell off, and that's all it took. So it's like it's very frustrating when you. I will say one thing though. Standing in that award ceremony, watching my team, watching the Team USA win a gold medal, and watching all the Americans win gold medal, there was two things. I was super proud to be part of that, to be hopefully a motivating factor for our team.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was absolutely fucking pissed, like absolutely pissed that I wasn't able to get on that podium. And I think it was about a week after I got home. I was like, all right, bitch, let's go. Get back on the gun, get trained up. It's time to go do something at the pistol. And
Yeah, you jump right
yeah,
into it because yeah, Carrier Optics National. I mean, whatever, handgun nationals or whatever they call it now. But
that
it
one was
was
tough though, dude. I have never struggled switching platforms like I did for that though. That was brutal.
yeah, I
That
was
was
there for that
brutal.
too. Yeah. I will say though, like you got to admit it, like going. I don't think anybody else is experiencing what you're going through. You are doing two world shoots in the same year,
I
and
think the
totally two
only
different platforms too.
I think the only other person I know that is doing both is
Just
Justine
seeing,
Williams.
seeing. Yeah, she's the only
Dude,
one. Yeah.
let me just tell you that her and I have a few chats here and there, and I'm both like I'm like, I feel you, girl, but I'm with you. Keep going. We'll be all right. Like
It'd be all
we
right.
both are
Yeah.
having the same kind of feelings and frustration. I don't want to say burnout because actually I'm probably more motivated than ever.
hmm
But it's odd because there's times when I think it feels like it's real easy to go, I just don't want to train today. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to work out. I don't want to go shoot today. And every single time that I feel that, I call you on the phone and you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in the gym. And then after I get out of the gym, I call you and
You
you go,
feel
how
great.
was it? And you go, it's the best
Let's
fucking decision
go.
I ever made, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like that today, actually. I was like, oh, I don't want to pick up my
Uh,
gun to do a dry fire. And then I was like, as soon as I had it in my hand and I did a couple reps, like, let's fucking go. So,
it's different. It's a different feeling. It's a different feeling sometimes when you just do it, even though you don't want to. And then you just start getting kind of locked into it. Like I can tell you that 8-week kettlebell program, I was super locked into doing it. Right. And I think there was only maybe 2 or 3 days out of those 8 weeks where I was like, man, I just don't want to do this. And it was
mhm.
because I had trained a lot the day before or whatever it was. One thing that I did different in the kettlebell program was, even though I trained at the range, what I used to do when I work out is if I trained at the range, I was like, that's my training day. I didn't do that in
Mhm.
the kettlebell program. I went to the range. I either trained before I went to the range, usually after the range though, because I got to get into the range, get it over with so I can beat traffic home. And then I would come home. I'd take a quick shower and my ass would go to the gym right after. And every single time I did it, I paid for it. You know, it hurt the next day, but it was worth it.
Yeah,
You know, it was
but it's
worth it every
like
day.
it's like bodybuilders pushing weight. That's all it is. Like, they're doing 10 reps and they get to 15 and like they're just pushing to 20. That's all it is. You're
I'm
just getting
seeing a huge
better.
difference physically, dude, mentally too. Like just the grind. I think putting yourself in those uncomfortable, tired,
Hmm.
exhausted positions, especially when you're a shooter who has to do 3 days. I think the world shoots 4 days or 5 days of shooting.
You get a day break. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, you have to, even though those stages are a little bit smaller, I mean, if you are, even though they're small stages, you should be putting in 120% effort. So you should be extremely beat up after 10 stages. And if you're not, you're probably not putting in the effort that's going to win you a world title.
Yeah, I don't think people
Um,
really understand like when you're shooting the stage, you're putting maximum amount of effort for like 10, 15, 20 seconds and then you're resting for an hour and a half for another stage and then you're going woo and then down
yeah.
and then plateau and then back up again. And
Yeah.
that wears your body out. So
Yeah.
one thing you've been working on a lot and something that I got from you as well is nutrition. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, make sure you stay well hydrated, taking our energy drinks while we're shooting, eating very important thing. So I think a lot of people really overlook that stuff.
One of the things I learned at Area 8 was, and I try not to do any sugar at all. Like I try to eliminate all sugar as much as possible. It changed my life. I don't know. It's probably been 4 or 5 years when I try to eliminate a lot of sugar. So like I love dessert. I love candy. I love all that crap. I try to just not do any of it though. And then I'll have it every once in a while. So like it's definitely one of those things where if I eat cake or candy or any of that stuff for a week, I feel it for a week of like arthritis. I can feel it in my joints and my
Uh,
knees. I mean, I used to have all these problems with my knees. I used to think, oh man, I'm just getting old. Obviously, I was overweight at the time. And then I decided to just drop off sugar and like kind of go no sugar as much as possible. And I have had zero knee pains, no knee braces, no issues at all.
hmm.
Actually, we're going to talk about shoes here in a second because actually we
That's
want
a
to
big
talk
one.
about this. Yeah. But I was having no issues at all. And so once I stopped doing the sugar, it made a huge difference. Well, here's the issue. You're outside all day long, you're running, you need balance, right? So you need salt, you need sugar, obviously the proper sugar, not a candy
Mm,
bar.
not kidding.
So at area 8, I lost area 8 on there was about 3 stages on day 1 towards the end of the day where I almost felt like I had heat stroke. Even though I drank gallons of water, I mean, dude, I had probably 2 salt elements, which if you don't know what those are like the hydration huge. It's like 1,000 milligrams of salt to hold the water. I mean, I was peeing like crazy. I was low on sugar. My blood sugar was low. So the
Yeah.
next day, I went and actually that night, I was like, the only thing I could think of that I was missing, right? Like the only thing I could think of that I was missing was sugar. So I said, all right, cool. I'm going to go get a box of raisins. Dude, I had raisins during the match that next day. I ate my drink, drank a ton of water like usual, all these things, bro. I was like, that's it. I didn't have any sugar in my system. I had low blood sugar, and I'm not a diabetic or anything. But I was just like, that's it. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
low.
but you can tell though, like your brain starts acting foggy, your vision starts going away. It's like you're missing a nutrient. That's all it is.
Bro, I went
And
into this bus. We had a bus stage on Area 8,
oh
right?
yeah, the
And
infamous bus stage.
it's
Yeah.
awesome. I was like, all right. And it wasn't my favorite version of the bus stage that they had. I loved last year's a little bit better. This one was good though, right? It wasn't a bad stage. But I get in there and I start shooting, and it's an unloaded start, run to the front, grab the mag, load it, and then start shooting. So I get through probably halfway down the bus, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden, everything starts going blurry. And every time the gun goes off, my eyeballs just
Boom,
shake.
boom, the
And I'm
concussion.
like, oh my God. Like, I'm not sure where this dot is, but the whole thing's the size of the sun, and it's just bouncing all over the target when I'm pulling the trigger. So I finally get to like to the last position, and there's 3 steel and a no shoot to finish on. Like I don't know, they're probably 18, maybe 20 yards or something. At least it sure did feel pretty far. So I'm in this bus, and now there's 3 walls. Like it's at the back of the bus. So dude, it's like you're jammed in there getting all the percussion from this gun. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember having to completely stop shooting and go bang, hold, focus, bang, hold, focus, bang, hold, focus. And then I shoot this no shoot, bang, hold, bang. I could not get the gun to stop without doing that. I couldn't see anything. My brain was done. It was over with. And actually,
Mm-hmm.
before I shot that, one of the guys asked me, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, "Bro, you're gonna have to drag me off this range before you get me to quit. So I'm fine. Like, let's go. Let's get this done." And thank God, it's crazy though. The next stage, I think I either grabbed a banana from somebody or I can't remember what I did, but the next stage was fine. But I also wasn't in a bus, right? I didn't have that percussion.
Percussion.
Yeah, dude, it was brutal.
No,
And I'm not even shooting an open gun. I'm
that's even
shooting.
worse.
Yeah, I'm shooting a CO gun, dude. So I can't
Ooh.
imagine how those guys were. I probably would have fallen out of the bus. I mean, it was bad, dude. I've never experienced that in my life, and it was really bad. So see, that's the thing is every loss, every time something goes wrong, I've learned something from those matches. So now I
Mm-hmm.
take that into my practices with you, and we talk about nutrition quite a bit. Like, hey, did you eat your bar? Hey, are you drinking water? Hey, do you need your energy drink? Like, we talk about this back and forth a lot, like just as a reminder, because it's super easy to forget what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, we do that in matches too. It's like, hey, go eat. Did you drink? Boom, boom, boom. It's very important. Very extremely important. Like you forget. Like, you're super hyper focused, want to like execute the stage all the time. And you're like, or you just had a banger run, like, yeah, and then you just go in la la land real
Yeah.
quick. But yeah, it should be part of your routine. So after you shoot, go drink, go eat, reload, and back to business. So
I think IPSC Nationals was my best match when it comes to, well, I think it was my best match, to be honest with you, even though the finish wasn't where I wanted. I think it was my best match as a shooter, mentally, physically, and obviously there were some issues which we'll get into later. But when it comes to nutrition, bro, I really stayed on the nutrition. Like
mm-hmm,
I stayed on the nutrition hard because I was like, all right, man, listen, you got to be stubborn on this. This is where you make mistakes.
mm-hmm,
Don't let this be something that you slip on, right? Because it's so easy, like you said, to just forget. Like you're hanging out with your friend, you're talking, you're cracking jokes, and you're focusing on whatever you're trying to watch your friend shoot, and then it's like, all right, man, go grab some food, like just eat it while you're pasting or whatever. So it's it's real easy to forget, and because I don't really eat a lot at the range anyway. Like I don't eat lunch when the lunch comes up. If we have a lunch
oh
break, I'm
no,
like, nah,
fuck
man, I'm
no,
not eating low lunch. Even
no
if
cold hot dogs,
I
no
can't
way.
even eat, but I can't even eat like a half a sandwich makes me feel like crap, right? So
Mm-hmm,
I want to just snack a little bit here and there because I don't want to feel bogged down. But your body and your head, your brain needs nutrition, lots of water
mm-hmm.
and lots of, you still need to eat something. So I think maybe I'm going to try to start adding a little bit of fruit other than the raisins. Maybe try to add some fruit, but
Yeah,
I'm super lazy about that.
we had some watermelon at IPSC Nationals. Yeah, that
Yeah.
worked out pretty well. Yeah.
I'm super lazy about that stuff though, dude. It's more shit to carry to the range. I'm like, just here's my backpack. Let's go shoot.
Yeah, but you know what? That one little thing could cost you,
It
I
is.
say
Yeah, it
30,
does. Well, it has
40.
before. Yeah, it has
Yeah.
before. It has before
Hmm.
big time for sure.
And that's the thing though. Like I don't think people are listening. Like you should shoot major matches because this is where you're gonna learn all this stuff.
Yeah, I've never learned any of this at a local.
I didn't.
Like
Nope.
never, ever have I learned. I was just having this conversation with my class in Massachusetts. We were at dinner and I asked one of the guys, I said, you ever shot a major match? And he goes, yeah, I just shot like a local major. And I said, oh, that's awesome. And he's like, I think he said it was like 12 stages or whatever. And I said, oh, okay. I said, have you ever shot two locals in a row, like one on Saturday or one on Sunday or whatever? And he's like, yeah, I've done it once. I go, let me guess, day two was worse. And he goes, yeah. And I go, that's why you have to go to nationals. I said, you don't
Mm-hmm.
realize what kind of shooter you are until you go to a national championship. Area matches are awesome. Don't get me wrong. You should 100% be going to them. Unfortunately, most of the area matches are better than the nationals.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unfortunate that that's a thing, but nothing gives you the mental and the physical challenge of a national championship. Nothing gives you the competition of a national championship other than maybe a world shoot. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that's like the world nationals, right? Like you have to understand that those are the moments, those are the matches where you're like, wow, I suck.
Yeah, those are the eye openers right there for sure.
Yeah.
They're
But
like,
you don't
oh.
realize how important you don't realize how important consistency is when you
Mhm.
shoot a 6 stage match local and you're like, yeah, yeah, I beat everybody here. And you're like, yeah, well,
Yeah,
you'll see.
you're you're not gonna outrun anybody with a mic. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
you'll
Yeah, not
see.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Those guys not gonna throw mics. They're not gonna
Well,
throw.
and that's the thing, man. It's 20 stages, 24, 21 stages of consistency.
Hmm.
We actually talked about this a lot at IPSC Nationals, didn't we? About how there was a lot of guys that beat me on stages, and I'm like, who the shit is that? And
Hmm.
then the next stage, I'm like, yep, nowhere to be found. You know, and then you go to the next one and you're like, who the shit is that? And you're like, next stage, like you're looking at the results, you're like, yep, that guy just hit a grand slam, but he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, those guys are hitting home runs just time and time again. You
Yeah.
know, but
And
those
there's
are,
nothing wrong with that, dude. That's awesome. That means they have
mhm.
the talent. But can you do it for nobody hits 24 home runs in a row?
No,
Nobody. Not even the best, not even the dude winning the match, right?
no.
So it's about consistency. And I mean, I spent a whole year just becoming consistent. Like I threw away match after match after match, just trying to learn how to become consistent. I spent a
Mm.
whole year. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I spent the whole year just getting beat because I was like, all right, well, obviously I'm doing something wrong. Is it the speed? Am I going too fast? Am I not going fast enough? Like, what is the problem here? And basically the problem is I didn't focus on consistency and training. I was training one-off things. I'd be jumping out of bounds, doing dumb shit. But then I realized, like, okay, if I just basically create these techniques that I can repeat over and over and over again,
Hmm.
I'll be a top 10 shooter.
That's where it is, right? Yeah, but the only way you found out is going through major matches and losing, getting your ass kicked. And you realize like, okay, this is a problem. There's a pattern to this problem. What do I need to do? And then you figured it out. So,
I think a big thing for me too, dude, is losing doesn't bother me like it used to,
mhm.
right? Because when I lose now, I'm just like, time to get to work, right? Like
Mhm.
it's not a like you suck, dude. It's all right, I got work to do. I got more to do. I got there's more to be done. Like I'm not finished yet. I have a lot more to get better at.
Well,
Uh
that's the fun part, right? It's the
I think
journey.
so.
Like, yeah, I
I
think
think
getting
so.
better. Yeah, you're like, wait a minute, hold on. If I fix this one thing here, game changer. You know what I mean? Like I love the sport and I love shooting, but I love getting better. I think that's the best part about it. It just
Well,
keeps
that's
coming
what
back.
it'll keep you motivated to stay in the game too. The guys that only do this for victory, you're going to lose more than you're going to win. Like you're going
Hmm.
to even when you have your local and you're the badass at the local, when somebody else comes in, you're not going to do well. They're going to smoke you, and then that ego pop doesn't work very well, and then you either start cheating or
Or your guns go, yeah,
or
your
you
guns go
ban
on gun
people from
pressure.
your range, like I have been banned because I was winning, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. You name it. Like, it's like that's there's only a few answers to some of these things, and it's like, oh boy, you just really hated that I was winning, I guess, because there's no other reason to ban me from that range. Okay,
Hmm.
got it.
Yeah, it's unfortunately
uh,
how Florida works pretty
yeah,
much, which
it's
sucks.
probably the worst
It's the
place to be
worst
a
thing.
shooter.
It is. It is. Like
Probably the
I
worst
think,
place
yeah.
to be a shooter.
What was it? We were talking about. It's like I was telling some friends of mine. It's like, yeah, I have more shooting friends in USPSA outside the state than I do here. So it is what it is.
That's for sure, brother. That's for
Mm.
sure. So, I got a couple questions for you about practice. So,
Uh-huh.
what have you seen as a benefit with the type of training that I brought you into?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. Those targets look a lot closer in real life than they do in our practice. They're like giant bullseyes. Like the A zone's like this big. I said, dude, Tom, I can see the A now. Like it's only 15 yards away. It's pretty crazy. Okay. Well, I guess we'll start talking about IPSC Nationals then. Went up there to the plate, no fear. I said, let's go. Like I was like, oh, dude, this is awesome. Like they're right there, and right, it was a huge level of confidence booster. That's for sure. And I was like, I'm ready to rip. You know what I mean?
It's probably the most confident I've ever been going into a match, dude. I walked out of there. I walked into that match, and the first thing we saw was
The
like where
swinging
the
plates.
swinging plates, and I go, bro, this is that. these bitches are giant compared to what we've been practicing.
Dude,
I
they look
mean,
like
giant.
lunar eclipses, dude. I was
Yes,
like, oh wow,
giant.
dude, looks like the Death Star. I could shoot that
Yeah,
motherfucker right now. Yeah.
yeah. And so that was like a huge like. I remember looking at you. I go, see, bitch, that's why we practice hard shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll tell
you
you.
knew that already, but it was just hilarious because that, like, as soon as we got there, I was just like, I think there was two of them. There was two swingers that I was like, that's a dick move, guys. That's a tough one.
Mhm.
That was it was stage 22, if I remember correctly. And I can't, there was another one in zone, I think it was zone three,
Two.
two and three had like the most ridiculous swingers. They had like four
Yeah, the
plate.
one the RO that's talking about the hanging Jeffries thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It had a
Yeah.
swinging, that thing had like maybe a half an inch to an inch of visible steel, it looked like when it was going 100 miles an hour. And it was
Hmm.
only available at the top right corner. And if you missed it, you were waiting for a long time. So unfortunately, I missed that one twice and hit it the third time. But I hit it. That was the thing. Like, so it's like, and then I get to these others, and I think there was only one other plate. Trying to think. I think I went 1 for 1 on just about every other plate. I think there was one other plate that I had to make an adjustment on. We talked about, which we'll talk about in a second, but uh the speed of the swingers were actually one of the things that bothered me the most. I think there was a swinger and only one swinger really got me. I got a mic on a swinger because it was too damn slow, if you could imagine that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was shooting alphas on all these swingers. I've really figured out activators and swingers and stuff, but there was this one swinger that was just so slow that I'm
Hmm.
like, swinger, it's gonna get ready. And I just
Yeah.
shot an out. I think I shot a Charlie. Like, I hit the outside edge of the stick. That's how
Yeah.
freaking far I led that thing. And I'm like, I walk up to the target. I'm like, what the
You gotta be fucked.
fuck did I
Yeah.
see? I was like, what did I see? I'm like, it's gonna
Yeah.
come out. It's coming out. And I mean, it was so damn slow. And so I was like, oh, I need to make some adjustments here on the next. If I see any more swingers that aren't as fast, I said, I need to pay more attention to aiming the damn thing instead of like predicting that it's going to come out fast when it wasn't fast at all.
Hmm.
Um,
I think the fastest swingers we saw in the match was the one with the port, and then they had the swinging plate,
yeah.
and the two swingers in left or right. The one on the right was faster.
All
Yeah.
alphas on that one, baby.
Let's
Smoke that stage,
go.
dude. That was a
Nope.
fun stage. I usually hate those stages, just because there's not a lot of options, but that stage had a lot of options. You could go stay out, shoot the back two, reload coming in, start on the port. There was so many options. You could take a little more risk and start right, shoot the port, and then come out, or vice versa. There was a lot of good options on that.
That was a banger stage.
It was a
I
pretty
wanted to.
cool stage.
I ain't gonna lie, because you were second overall on production optics on
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
I want to see Brantley Marion's run.
Bro, that guy had to have shot
The
the
swinger went
swingers in
past.
one pass because there's no like I actually was like, I felt like, all right, this feels pretty slow. And then when I saw my score, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I did pretty good. And then I saw his and I'm like, holy shit, like it's over a second fast. It's a second and a half faster.
He
I was
did
like,
seven something. Yeah,
that's
I was
crazy,
like,
bro. That was awesome. Like, dude, that guy's so talented. So it's like, not,
he's
it's
a banger.
expected, right? Like, but it's like, that was a pretty big risk to take those swingers with one pass because those things were not close. They
Well,
were
that's
far.
if he did it one pass. We don't know. Like, I would like to, if you obviously
I
you know
just don't
him.
see how you're stealing that time.
Nah,
I did have a makeup shot on steel on the on one of the things, but that's not a second and a half.
well, I don't know,
No.
man. Because if you think about it, like if you miss it, I missed the same steal as you did. It was not the first, but the second one of the three, and that could mess up your timing on one of the swingers. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know. Maybe
I looked at my video. I went right to the swinger. It was first pass, bang, second pass, bang, first pass, second pass. I didn't have any extra passes on the swinger. So it
uh,
didn't affect I mean, obviously anytime you miss, it's a makeup shot, to where I could have shot the other steel and maybe been a little bit sooner, but it's
but then again, it's not a second and a half either. Like, yeah, he had
yeah, I
to
mean,
do it one pass.
I
Yeah,
just, again, it'd be one of those things where you just have to see his run, but that's dude, some of those guys put up some.
banger runs,
Well, he's put up,
banger.
listen, man, he's found another level. He really has.
Hmm.
He's found another level. Jacob's found another level. So it's like, you got to go compete with those guys. I mean, I was 40 seconds slower than them at this match. I had some, the mess ups I had some pretty big mess ups. So I think there was two stages on day 3 that I lost 50, 60 points on between the two.
Hmm.
I mean, that right there takes me out of a top 5 finish. I shot a top 5 finish with a 10th place finish. I shot like I should have had 5th place or 4th place, and I finished 10th, right? Like it's all it took were those two bombs. And it
Hmm.
was mental. It was, I've never experienced that. I almost felt bored. Like I couldn't focus. Shouldn't say I didn't focus.
Well, to be fair, I think we started in zone 2 to 3. Now we started with the more complex stuff, and then went to the
Doesn't matter, dude. I mean, my
yeah,
first 3 stages at the match were absolute fucking bangers of
yeah.
day 3. I mean, I came in, took 2nd place on a stage, giant stage. Then I shoot the double swinger with a steel plate swinger. That was the plate stage. I crushed that, take 2nd place, top 10 or 15 or whatever it was on the next stage. And
Hmm.
then I go to the two biggest stages of our zone, and I fucking bomb them. So just mentally, right? Like
Yeah.
it
Oh,
is what it
yeah.
is. So I learned. Like I said, I learned a lesson. You know, I think I think physically there's some issues there for me. Like again, at 46 years old, that day 3, I just feel like I need to take a little more rest before these big matches. I don't think I'm resting enough.
Hmm.
I think I'm pushing just way too hard before a match. Like so before we went to this match, we practiced. I practiced on Saturday or Sunday. I
You practiced this the
practiced
weekend before,
yeah,
yeah.
a weekend before, and I abs 1,000 rounds. It was 1,000,000 degrees out. I mean, I just smashed it. It was an amazing practice, but then we fly in on Wednesday to Ohio and we go shoot another 1,000 rounds. Literally 2 days before we shoot the major match, right? On
Hmm.
concrete.
On
So that's
concrete.
which is great. Like it's an amazing range. I'm so glad I have that access and been able to go train. But I think maybe 500 rounds would have been a little bit better on the legs. Like it's not a,
I don't think it's I think it's the hands too. I
yeah, I
think
think it's more my feet, my legs though, bro.
your
Like
feet.
I remember that first day, I was just like, dude, I felt like I had ran a marathon the day before. It's
Well, that was my first experience in like actually shooting in concrete. Yeah, it is brutal. It is brutal on your feet for
It's
sure.
awesome. It is an amazing thing to have access to that, but you got to understand that all that stuff, this sport takes a physical toll. I don't care how old you are. The difference is how well you recover as you
Hmm.
shoot, right? Like so, day 1 from day 3 at IPSC Nationals was completely different. Day 1, I really struggled. Physically, I was able to shoot well, but day 1, I physically struggled and hold on pretty well. Day 2, absolutely crushed. I don't know why, but day 2 absolutely crushed, just locked in mentally and physically rocked. Day 3 came out of the gates like freaking on fire. And then I just mentally kind of lost. I don't even think it was a physical thing at that point. So, and then obviously the frustration of that, I'm pretty good at letting that stuff go. So I was lucky enough to kind of let that stuff go, but I just had some issues that, I couldn't come out of. I just dropped so many points on those two stages. It was brutal. I just like honestly, some of the biggest stages of the match are usually my jam. That's usually what I excel at. I had some real issues with long stages. Just my speed wasn't there that weekend.
Hmm.
So I got smoked on a lot of time stuff. Like almost like I was being cautious, like don't make mistakes, which is
That's not your jam.
not my
Yeah, you're
jam.
never
I
not
get
your
after.
jam at all.
I have zero fear of shooting. I'm jam. I go get it. And I just didn't at some of those stages. And it showed because when some of those guys that came in and they knew the scores, they could go push and I couldn't. I was already it was gone. I was out of those zones. So
Mm-hmm. You can't go back to them. That's for sure. So they all learn from me for sure. Like you just gotta go get it.
let's
Gotta
talk
go
a
get
little
it.
bit about your fun time at IPSC Nationals because obviously I had the mental stuff, but
We'll start with mine.
let's
Yeah, yeah.
talk a little bit about like your match experience. I think a lot of people don't. I think you're in kind of a special place too to have to deal with this so early in your shooting. So
It's
how
awesome.
many major matches have you shot when it comes to like, if this is your first nationals you've ever shot?
No, it's my second one.
Second one. All right. So what would you
Yeah.
say? What was your first one?
2023 Open PCC Nationals. That's when we first met.
Okay. Yep. Yep. What
Yeah.
would you say the difference in that match and this match is for you personally? Let's forget about the performance. Let's just talk about like the actual like your preparedness before you came to this one, before you went to the 23?
Oh yeah, dude, it was a 9-day difference. Like my first nationals, I was like, well, there's other factors involved too, which we're not going to get into. It's like it's more like an experience thing. That national was brutal. It was a lot of far targets. I remember that one, but I didn't know how to train. I really didn't. I just send rounds down range. I was like, oh, all right, this is good enough. But I, that's before I took your class and been coached up by you. So it felt like what's more looking for. I guess I'd never experienced anything like that before. Like being under pressure. There's better people around me. Like obviously some of my heroes in the sport. I get to meet them. Like, oh my god, that's that guy right there. And yeah, it was more of that feeling. And then like, oh man, like I'm in nationals. I can't fuck this up. And then I really did fuck up. But this time around, this time around, IPSC Nationals, this one, I treated like it was a local match. You know what I mean? Like I was comfortable. I came in, none of the stages bothered me, none of the rule sets bothered me because we trained a lot of this stuff. So I was really extremely prepared for this one. And the results didn't show, but that was an issue that I was dealing with on day 1 and 2 and 3. But we'll get into that in a second.
Did you have a lot of match experience beyond? You've done quite a few majors, just not nationals, right?
Yeah. I've never done an area match or anything like that, but I shot a lot of major matches last year. This year I toned it down a lot. So I've been in those situations, but not nationals. Nationals is a totally different ballgame.
We did a actually this year in January we shot a
The extreme.
extreme together,
Hmm.
and
That's kind of close to that.
definitely a different level of it doesn't really feel like a major match, unfortunately. I think because it like what time of the year it comes in. It's January, first thing in the year. Not all the competition shows up. It's almost
It's like a hibernation match. Like you come out of hibernation for some of these shooters, the ones that show up, and they're like, all right, let's go shoot a major real quick. That's what it felt like.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. The competition is what makes that match good or not, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Like, because stages are actually pretty good. I don't mind those stages, but it's like this year I shot against Max, and it was like this match
That was
is
worth it. That
so
was
much
worth it.
better because of that, right? Like, I was
Yeah.
getting prepared for PCC World Shoot, and Max came to the match and shot, and we didn't get to shoot together, but just to have him there to kind of compare myself to and like kind of see what I needed to train and all these different things, and it was just like, all right, this is a great match, and then you look back and you're like, same match as it was the year before, and it wasn't that great. So it's like,
No,
I
but
mean, it's
Max,
just who shows up, right?
it
Like,
shows up. I think you're 100% right. Yeah, I think we talked about this like what type of matches make a match. Like competition is number one. Competition stages, then officiating, then the party.
I
So
think
I
it
think that.
depends on who. I think it also depends on what kind of shooter you are or what you want
Mhm.
to be. Like for me, I don't usually run from the competition. Like there's a reason why I don't shoot a lot of limited optics when there's another great shooter in CO. I see this a lot in our sport. I see a lot of dudes like they skate around the competition. They're like, hell yeah, I just won a major match. I'm like, who the hell showed up? But that's their choice, I guess, to go chase that stuff. But I probably should start going to different divisions where there's not as much heat, and maybe I could just fake a national championship. But it happens all the time. Like it's pretty wild. There's some guys out there that are actually very talented shooters, and they choose not to.
They don't want to. They don't want to come out. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
just too
it's kind of,
comfortable.
I guess it's kind of like that exposure could hurt them. I don't get it personally. Like, dude, I've lost a whole bunch and I still feel like I'm a great shooter. So I feel like I don't know. I just winning matches isn't what winning matches to me doesn't mean that's what makes them a great shooter. Like it's obviously the ultimate goal at the end of the day is to win the match. But to me, I see people that have never won a major match, and I'm like, bro, that guy's a damn good shooter.
Hmm.
And I've seen guys that have won matches, and I'm like, dude, that guy's not very good. He's just like nobody was there that day.
Hmm.
Not,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And again, that
There's
just
a
I keep that to myself. It's not an attack on those guys. I look at people differently because I know what I'm talking about with training, and I see how they shoot, and I see the consistency and the up and down of things of how people shoot. And I'm like, you know, you put those guys in there with the bangers and you don't, you know, again, you start seeing people spread out their talent. These like, that was the worst thing they ever could have done at Handgun Nationals this year is they took all the talent and they spread it out. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, you lost
like
a lot of guys to production
it
too.
sucks, dude. It really sucks because, you know, at least three of the guys, and there's probably more that I'm not thinking of, at least three of the guys that went to production got weren't there, right? So it's like, so and the way I look at it, I'm like, so let's just say I place in the top 10 and those three, or let's just say hell, even if I was third or second or whatever the hell it is, and I look and I see those guys aren't there, I'm like, oh, I could have been fifth. I could have been sixth, right? Like
10,
that's the way
11.
I look at that as competition. I'm like, those guys aren't there, so we're missing like a giant chunk of points on some of these stages that probably wouldn't be there that I would get or somebody else would get or whatever it is. Maybe I would have. I just, you don't know when those guys aren't in it. So like, again, that's probably one of the biggest mistakes they could have made was that they took the most popular division in our sport and said, let's jam it in the least popular division and put iron sights in with it. It just, it didn't make
Yeah,
sense.
on a World Show year too. Yeah, that just didn't make any sense.
They don't give a shit, dude, about world shoot.
No, I'm just saying, no, like,
They
yeah,
don't give a shit about growing this sport, dude. It's pretty obvious. So, but either way,
yeah.
all right, man. So let's get into your IPSC Nationals because
Oh, it starts.
it was so
Oh,
frustrating, and I wasn't even the one doing it. It was frustrating for me as a friend to watch you have to go through this. So give everybody the story, brother.
yeah. I'm gonna start off by saying I'm very grateful and thankful for the friends around me that at the match. So, you guys know who you are. Really helped
You
me out a
didn't, at
lot.
least we wouldn't let you go to the top of any tall buildings. That's for sure.
No, no, that's day two. That's day two. We'll start with the warm up day. Well, we meet up with we saw Siler, and then the infamous video was taken with the
Yeah,
rainbow
the
cross,
rainbow
cross
crisscross, baby.
yeah,
Well,
dying
what did
laughing.
I name it? The rainbow cross step. I think
Rainbow
that's what I
cross
call
step.
it. Rainbow cross
Yeah,
step.
dude, me and Christian's mom was just laughing our asses off when we saw that. Oh my god, it was amazing. So, anyways, after that stuff went down, we started warming up, and then I got the match gun, boom, shooting, da, 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 like seeing my vision, transitions was great. And then I transitioned to this open paper target on the left. And I'm like, there's no dot. What's going on here? I did the wiggle thing. I went like this.
You
At
forgot how
first,
to grip the gun.
I
That's
was
your
like,
problem.
first thing it goes there, I was like, man, this doesn't seem right.
I suck.
I suck. And I was like, oh wow, there's no dot. So I tried clicking it on, nothing. I said, okay, no panic. Let me just go to my bag real quick. I got another battery, pop a new battery in, and nothing happened. And then I started doing some, like in video games when you're losing, you start hitting all the buttons, and that's what I was doing. I was like, dude, panic mode just started
Dude,
kicking
does
in.
it sound like this?
Oh yeah, like
All the buttons just
all the
smashing.
buttons started messing with. I'm losing, and then
That's awesome.
yeah, dude, what the fuck just happened? And I was like, all right, I'm about to shoot a national championship match against like everyone. You know what I mean?
In wait. In 45 minutes.
In 45 minutes.
Yeah, we were warming up to shoot the match. This wasn't a practice. We were
Oh
getting
yeah.
ready to shoot. Like we were there for the afternoon day one session.
hmm It was very nerve wracking. And then luckily our Sam was there. He had some tools, and then I started taking apart the optic to switch it out with another one. And then I broke a tool. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then finally I got the optic swapped, and then I said, okay, we're good to go. And then I shot it. I said, okay, it's zeroed. I put it on. I was hitting the shit. I said, okay, we're good. So shoot the first couple stages, like, all right, it works. We're good. And we shot the first day. First day, it was very interesting. We had a great time, by the way. It was a phenomenal time. First day went pretty
We had
well.
a great squad.
Our squad was solid.
A great
Everyone
squad.
was love those guys, and you know who you are if you're watching this. So big shout out to you guys. And it was a great first day. I said, all right, we're good, and I'm excited for day two. So went back to the hotel room, fixed everything back up, cleaned everything, and then day two started. And it started on that stage where I don't know, for some reason we started on double bays all 3 days, right?
We
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I think you're right.
Uh,
The day 3 we didn't have. We had a single bay. It was the big one, but then we went to
uh,
doubles right after. Yeah.
well, doubles out there. So the
Yeah.
first 2 days we started on two short courses back to back, which I don't like, by the way. It's stupid. You would get 4 minutes to walk through, and then once you do both or whatever, you shoot one. I'm trying to illustrate for the
I'm
people. So
glad you brought that up. So I want to talk about that when you're done.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me throw this in there real quick because I don't
Yeah,
want
throw it in
to.
there.
So here's the thing with the double bays in IPSC, especially for production optics, maybe not open as much as for us, or PCC has probably got it better. Dude, 15 round mags. I only have four mags. So it's like, um, okay. Like I don't,
Yeah,
and we had a
and
couple stages where like there was a couple stages where you might have to reload in because there were 11, 12 rounds.
mm-hmm.
And they were difficult, like swinger and bobber, and there was quite a few stages where they pushed the round count. And I'm just like, bro, this sucks. I didn't bring 8 mags with me to make sure that I had, extra bullets for when we do this. So I hate it as well. I know exactly why they do it. It's more efficient that way for them because they don't have to have as many ROs on the squad. Um,
Yeah,
splitting a
it's
squad
dumb.
is, to me, splitting a squad takes no effort at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they just prefer to do it that way so that they could just keep the same shooter on the pad and get rid of him. I guess I really don't know why
I don't know why
they think
either.
that's more efficient because it's usually not.
By the way, for those who haven't done stuff like that, I recommend like it's really hard. I'm still new at this, I've been doing this for 4 years. It's hard to lock in one stage plan and then switch over to another stage plan after you did a 4 minute walkthrough when you did both. And so you just showed it, and then whatever happened that stage, right? Whether you crushed it or
Or
you're fucked
didn't.
up, and then you got to take that emotion to the next stage.
Yes, that's the key right there is to let that other shit. Don't even look at the
Don't look,
targets or you're screwed. All right,
you're
so
screwed.
I got an easy way to do this, guys, because this is something that I'm really, really good at. Um, when it comes to the double bays, I never, ever let the RO on the second stage rush me. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it took me 2 minutes to walk all the way to the next bay that's 5 feet over. I don't ever rush over there and just try to get done. I take whatever time I need to get used to or get locked into that stage plan. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never egregious. I never go over there and like hesitate and try to screw up or slow down the process of the match. But at the end of the day, if you're going to force me to shoot 2 stages in a row, I'm going to take whatever time it takes for me to dump the stage before and get ready for the next stage. If you don't like that as a staff member or you don't like that as a match director, then don't force me to run 2 bays with basically a minute and a half to 2 minutes of walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on a stage where it's got bobbers and swingers and all this intricate stuff where I have to be really locked into. And then you tell me, hey, go over here and do a hoser and now come over here and try to aim your gun. I have no problem with what they did, but I know for sure, or for me personally, the way I do it is my time is my time. I don't care. I paid thousands of dollars to be here, thousands of dollars in training to come out here. I'm not going to rush through this stage because you want me to hurry up and move along. Sorry. So
I
I'll take
agree.
whatever time I need. I remember I had some mag issues on that. I ran a stage before. I Barney, put my regular mag in, finish, shoot the stage. Well, I wanted to make sure that the magazines that I had were in the front because my system's already changed. I no longer have mag 4 as my first mag. Now I'm going to start with mag 3 with a bullet down. So now I had to make sure I barneyed up. I had to go to mag 2, then move the one with the missing round to the front, and then I had mag number 4 that had little to no bullets. I had to put that all the way in the back so I didn't touch it. You just changed my whole system. I'm not rushing up there to get in the front because
No, absolutely not. Yeah,
unfortunately we had a friend who
yeah, this sucks.
DQ'd, unfortunately, because of the way the rules are for IPSC. So with 15 round mags, he's not used to it. He wasn't sure if he had filled his mag all the way, and he went to put his gun away, forgot to put the hammer down, and as he holstered the gun, he didn't have a safety on, which I don't even think is legal anyway. Holstered his gun and DQs because of just that one little change in his make ready
Hmm.
completely screwed up his process. That's why you have to be
No,
you have
you
to
need to
be
have
very unprocessed. You can't really just go off your process. You can't have a set, this is what I do every time. We do, right? But you have to be willing to kind of go, okay, I'm going to take a second here and I'm going to think about what the hell I'm doing before I do something stupid that makes me go home from this
yeah.
match.
That exactly what you just said with the whole 15 round thing. Like, just settle, get your mind right, take your time. So that's something I learned in this match big time too. Not rush to the second stage.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
have to, man. And I try to explain to people, like, if I was your RO on the second stage, I know you're not supposed to do this, but I would probably be like, take your time, get your stuff ready. Like, not make ready. Like,
yeah.
if you think like a shooter, as a shooter, you probably would be a different RO, right? You'd be a
Hmm.
different type of RO if you thought, what would I want as a shooter here? Would I want someone to go, get your shit on, let's go, we're going to shoot the stage? Or would I be like, all right, I'm going to give you whatever time we need to give you? Like, obviously, I don't
Yeah.
want you standing here for 5 minutes, but
Well, a lot of those people like they don't know how to take the hat off and put the shooter hat on.
the
That's
crazy
all.
part is most of them
Um,
are shooters. They just don't think about it as the ROs for some
well, hold
reason.
on.
It's like,
Yeah, that one hat wears
maybe,
hawk.
yeah,
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 whatever,
maybe.
whatever. So yeah, let's go back to day two. So we start off double bays, and
Wait,
then the
wait, wait.
first one.
Day one. How did you finish with day one? I don't think we finished that yet. How was
Oh,
day
I
one?
oh I feel great. Yeah, I made some mistakes, of course. I'm not.
No, they were perfect.
Yeah,
Everybody was perfect.
everyone was perfect. Exactly. I mean, there's stages I crushed, and then there's
Yeah.
stages I had a TSA because that's a stage planning issue I had. But
Yeah.
we already discussed about that for the most part. But no, I shot great. I was very happy with my performance. I'm like, I wasn't scared. I had the squad. I was hyping up the squad too. I had a great time.
I
You know
think
what I
you
mean?
shot really well day one. Really well. Like I was
Yeah.
extremely happy. I felt like you've hit another level for sure. Like it was like, all right, this training's working. Like it's, honestly, like it's you being a training partner for me has also allowed me to see like, all right, is my training, like, am I on the right path? Right. Because obviously things work for me.
Hmm.
But I'm like, all right, well, and is something I'm doing screwing me up? Like my own training, like, am I overdoing it? Am I making this shit too hard? Am I actually getting better? And then having you there, it's like being able to watch you and see your progression go so fast. And I'm like, all right,
It
this miserable
works.
practice is working.
Uh,
This stuff's
it's
working. Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
I mean, yeah, and that will lead into the day two stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and then back to the day two, like we started on two bays, and the first bay it was like it was a port with a partial no shoot, and then you go around. There was two open paper around the barrel, and then it was open paper, no two open paper, no shoot, open paper, and I drew the gun, and I did three shots at it. I called one bad shot, two alphas, went around the corner, crashed in, open paper on the two open paper on the right, shot in, and then settled for the rest of the four cleared house. And then I shot a no shoot. I was like, well, what the fuck? That didn't make any sense. Like I was settled. I called two good shots. Like, maybe it was me, right? But I was almost 100%, like 99% sure I had the right sight picture and the right trigger press. So my grip was good and everything. So we go into the second stage.
How far was that target?
Yeah, it's hard to say because
Maybe
everything looks.
10 yards. It was the L-shaped stage, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was. It was maybe 10, 10,
Yeah. So
12, maybe.
that's a difficult target to tell whether you're something's wrong with your equipment. It's too
No, it's too
close.
close.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah.
But then we go into the stage where you have that weird wall, and then you have the two poppers, the
Oh yeah.
clamshell, the bobber, and then you
Yeah.
go on the right side. There's the activator, the
And
steel,
hard ass
two
leans.
hard
Hard
ass
ass
lean.
leans. Yeah.
Yeah, and then went into there, and then I missed the activator. It was really low. I'm like, what the fuck? And then missed my timing on the bobber, so I had to wait for the bobber to come back up, and then shift to the right, and then I, finished on the swinger. And I was like, okay, I'm fucked up because I dropped that no shoot. I was like, it had to be me, right? I was like, no, no worries, whatever. So then we go to the next stage, the one with the 25-yard. I think it was 25 yards. That plate that's
Yeah.
behind the hardcover circle. So
So what,
boom.
hold on a second. So for everybody who's listening, if you don't know what this is, so IPSC, because USPSA doesn't allow this anymore, I'm hoping they're going to change this. IPSC allows is a big plates. They love plates, right? So basically there was a plate at 25 yards, and what they did so that there was no issues with the activation of them, they put a hardcover underneath them. So like there was a, let's just call it an 8-inch plate, which I think they actually were an 8-inch plate, and they had an 8-inch plate below it in hardcover.
Mhm.
So just so everybody knows kind of what he's shooting at. So it was like, so in other words, if you miss, You still heard bing, right? And the sound, they were pretty consistent in what they sounded. I mean, you could tell when you missed, but it's still steel, right? So it was very easy for you to want to leave it. So
Yeah,
so basically he comes in on this piece of steel and continue.
continue. Yeah, there we go. So you know the lizard meme, right? The lizard, 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 lizard. That's what I was doing on it. I was shooting it. Oh, it was perfect setup too. So I hit the open paper and I did like a nice slide step over, and then the dot goes straight to the plate, and I had the perfect trigger press. So I went bing, and
Are you sure you didn't cross your feet? Maybe
I did
that's
not
why you
cross my
missed.
feet. No, no, no. I didn't watch the other people's instructions on crossing their feet.
I've seen some really good instructional videos on how to cross your feet. Maybe you should, maybe I'm not your good, maybe I'm not the coach you should be following.
No, 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 no. If I could cross my feet, I would have definitely missed it. The fucking dang thing. Yeah, it's not. I have the right not to cross my feet. There we
So,
go.
yeah, oh man. So you went to war on that piece of steel. I remember.
Lizard, lizard,
Yeah, I was in
lizard.
the background. I was in the background watching you shoot. Now, one of the negatives, well, by the way, we need to use your second last name so we don't have to shoot next to each other anymore so I can watch you.
Yeah, I
Um,
tried that.
it's
Yeah,
pretty hilarious because I'm in the background. I'm going,
this
aim.
motherfucker.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Aim. And he's just, I don't know, 5, 6 shots at least. What would you think?
I think six.
It
Yeah.
was a lot,
So,
right?
well, no, because I'm diagnosing it on the
You're like,
spot.
I'm on it.
Well, I'm come from the military background when you need 3 to 5 shots to make a group and then make an adjustment.
Dude, the steel was just like, "Ta, ta, 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 you ain't getting me, bitch."
Yeah.
By
So
the way, this wasn't a swinger either. This was a static steel.
So yeah, so they say this is the plate, right? And then
Yeah.
this is the hardcover. Right? I was hitting right here, bing,
Yeah,
bing,
he's nailing
bing.
the top of that space.
And then I'm like, okay, make an adjustment. So I aim higher. I still hit the steel, and then I end up aiming like right here,
Yeah,
and I
he
hit
so
it.
basically if you can't because if you're not watching the video, he's aiming 6 inches up and 4 inches to the left.
It's ridiculous. So I finally hit it, and I like, and here's the crazy part: when I hit the steel, my magazine was empty. I had one round in the chamber.
And that's a 30 round big stick, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I have 20,
Yeah.
yeah, 28, 29
Yeah,
rounds.
20, and yeah.
And I was like this, I need to reload. And then I go into this, and then stage goes, you around the corner, there's open paper, then there's the activator for the swinging plate. So I wanted to do the activator first, then go to the front corner because it starts swinging. But I ended up taking the activator up front because like, oh, I have a zero problem. I already figured it out. Like I knew I had a problem with my zero.
Yeah.
So I go up front and say, okay, well, let me take it closer. And then you could see the hits on the calibration zone was just low. It was all over the fucking place. And then I went for the swinging plate, missed. I was like, okay, let me finish the rest of the array and go back to it. And then I did like 5 or 6 passes on the swinging plate, finally hit it. And I was like, looking back at it, I was like, damn, that's kind of impressive. I could like Kentucky windage it and I hit it. But like
Shot with your eyes closed, bro. Let's go.
yeah,
Most people do that already. You got
yeah,
it. You don't need that talent. They got it
yeah.
already.
And I don't really feel too bad about my performance because I know people were just straight struggling with it with a zero dot. So,
Yeah.
but
That was the
yeah,
toughest swinger on the match, in my opinion.
yeah, it really was. Um, After that, you came to me. I was like, I don't even remember I was going through. Like, I was just severely pissed the fuck off, and I was like, dude, my dot's off zero, and I kind of like adjusted it, and then this is why I value your friendship a lot. You said, hey, don't fucking half-ass this shit. And then we got Alex Mansfield, and he's like, hey, get in this cart and go to the warm-up bay right now and zero your shit. I said, okay, yes, sir. And then I got in a cart, and I think I spent like 60 rounds trying to zero it because, dude, it was all over the fucking place. Like I wasn't even hitting. Like what I noticed when I got into the warm up bay was once I left like 7 yards, that's when I'd start like the shit was all over the fucking place, and I was like, damn, this is fucked up. So finally got it close enough, and then we've struggled the rest of the stages, of course. And then what really sucks about it is like knowing, well, we'll get to that point in a minute, but my equipment failed. And in my mind, I was not like, I was confident in my abilities, but I know if that target's over 12 yards, there's going to be a problem. So I was like, that became an account, a variable in the stage now. So, but yeah, we finished the rest of the stages, didn't do too hot. And then on the last stage was the weak hand stage. which I did in
Oh,
six.
yes. I forgot about that stage. Oh, yeah.
I came prepared though. I loaded up all my big sticks and put on my belt.
So
I
bad. You're
if
just,
you want,
it's coming, right?
oh, I
You
know it's
know it's
coming.
coming.
And if you guys are curious, you can go on my Instagram. I actually have the video on there, so you can watch it. But one I before I shot the stage, and then you give me some pep talks and stuff. I was pretty quiet because we'll get into that in a minute. But I remember Florida State this year when you shot the stupid table stage. They're sitting on your side, and you had this fucked up malfunction, and you didn't quit. You just fixed it, and then that single stage because you didn't quit put you over the top and won the entire match.
7 points.
Seven
I
points.
scored 7 points on that stage,
Mm-hmm.
and I won high overall, beat everybody on that match, open everybody by 7 points.
7 points
Somebody asked me after that video, they go, "Why didn't you just quit?" And I go, "I just won by 7 points. That's why I didn't quit."
because you didn't quit. So I go in there, I shoot. It was bad. Kentucky windage weekend, and I only took 2 passes on the plate, which is really weird. I hit it on the
Yeah.
second pass, but everything else was a struggle bus. And I ran out of ammo, reloaded, and I got 15 points out of 55 on that one, which is great for open, right? And I'm sitting there like, dude, there's people that really sucked on this with a zero dot.
Yeah. Dude, you know the worst part of that stage? Maybe not for you because there's not having a dot doesn't is probably the worst part. But
Oh
the
yeah,
worst part of that stage was trying to hold your gun up for an hour shooting weekend. Dude, I remember it wasn't the shooting that was the problem. It's by the time I got done shooting all the targets, the last steal, I could barely hold my arm still. And it wasn't, I mean, like, I was like in
yeah.
circles. And I
Try
was
hoping.
just like, what the hell, dude? I'm
Hey,
exhausted.
I held my gun for 66 seconds over the weekend, so
Yeah.
it's
And
like,
your gun weighs, that was probably the only time I ever wanted a plastic gun back ever. Your
hey,
gun
but
weighs twice as much as mine with 60 rounds in it.
but that
Open gun.
I I work out, so that's the
Yeah.
main reason why you should go to the gym,
That's
especially the
actually a
weekend.
good, yeah, I should have said that too. So I sound more manly. Yeah, it was nothing compared to this 55-pound kettlebell I've been slinging.
Yeah, man, I had a protein bar right before I shot the stage too. I
I've
was
never
ready to
practiced
go.
just holding the kettlebell out like that. I guess that's the new I gotta put that jam out there for workouts. Holy shit. Yeah, that was
So
crazy.
it was crazy. But after I shot the stage, I was like, oh, I'm like relieved that the day was over because like no more
Yeah.
torment, right? But
Yeah.
then throughout the whole day, though, like that's definitely something we need to talk about. I want to express at least. It was like I am not good with expressing my emotions. I usually bottle it up, and there's a reason why because I can't control my mouth. Like if I have fear, not fear, but like just being mad or just emotions, things will come out of my mouth that is not pretty at all. And one thing too is like throughout that day, I just throughout the second day while shooting, I was thinking about all the practice sessions, all the rounds we put down range, all the hard work. I mean, months because I started preparing for this for. I mean, the goal wasn't IPSC Nationals; it was just getting better in general. But like, I was like, yeah, man, this is the match. I want to show out a little bit. You know what I mean? Show what I like. Everything I worked together to say, hey, let's make this work. You know, like, hey, let's make this sandwich, let's eat it. And it didn't come out to that. And there was just, I ain't gonna lie, I felt like crying. Like I was like, oh, like this fucking sucks, man. Like I just want my biggest thing for me is, and I want everyone to listen to this. It's like I don't if I fuck up, that's me. That's one thing. But I want the chance to fuck up.
Yeah.
I just want the chance. Like not having the opportunity to like make them like I just want a chance to do it. I just want my at bat. I want the bat. I want the ball thrown at me. I don't want like my bat broken and I can't hit a home run.
Yeah.
Like that's what it felt like. It felt like I'm Barry Bonds or something with a cracked bat. No matter how fast or I swing it or how hard I hit it, it's not leaving the infield for shit. So And it was extremely frustrating. And
The
then,
problem with equipment issues also is that you never really actually done thinking about them, right? So like I've had equipment issues before. I had a national a couple of years ago where I had so many malfunctions. And I learned a lot from that. I actually learned that you basically go on the range. And I do this with a lot of things now. Because of that match, I had all these malfunctions, not realizing that my striker spring was bad with the canic, and I had malfunction after malfunction after malfunction after malfunction. And I went on every single stage and I said, the gun's going to work. The gun's going to work. The gun's going to work. And I never thought about it until it didn't work. Dude, I've never racked a gun so fast in my life because I was just responding to what was happening. I never once went out there and thought about the gun. I thought about it. It's going to shoot perfect every single time. And honestly, it was probably one of my worst placements, but it was one of the best matches mentally I'd ever had in my life because I was like, you learned how to let shit go. That's honestly when I really started striving, jumping up big time in the sport because I started realizing like, all right, big deal. You got a mic. You earned it. You hauled ass. You earned that mic. It's not some bullshit mic. So, and it's very easy for me to let that stuff go. The problem for you though, in that aspect was it happened before you even shot. Like this was all happening at like the warm up bay. So like when this shit went down at the warm up bay, I remember like I felt completely helpless. I remember like, can I help you? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I take some of this pressure off you? And then finally I was like, all right, dude, I'm going to shut up and walk away. So I was like, cause you were just like, you were looking in your tool bag. You were trying to figure out like what gun you were going to switch to and all this stuff. And obviously you have a backup gun, but it's a backup gun for a reason. It's not the gun you want to shoot. So I'm like, oh, okay, dude, I'm just going to walk away here because I feel like I'm making this worse. And then I let you do your thing. And it was like, so then, obviously going into day two, I was like, man, you look good yesterday. How you got confidence back in yourself a little bit. How do you feel? And he's like, yeah, man, the gun worked pretty good. I feel pretty good. And then obviously day two, it went to shit. And then day three I think you still had some issues there on day three, didn't you?
no, we were usually, day three. Oh yeah, day three mentality. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll start with that. Like, I was like, I need to crush the first stage. Like once I get the first stage out of the way, like all right, it went smooth, and it did. So it built up my confidence back. But like deep down in the back of my mind, it's like, well, no matter what I do, it's in the toilet. But
Yeah, at that point, the match shouldn't matter anyway.
yeah, it shouldn't matter anyway.
The
So
match shouldn't matter anyway at that point. Like, or even I don't
what I
know.
mean by that, it's
Kind of
like,
got to the point where the match doesn't matter anyway, right? Like
yeah.
that's where I'm at with it, dude. I don't care about the match results until the end of the match. So it's very
Mhm.
easy for me to not let any of that stuff bother me. I don't care about the match results until the match is over. I'm not looking at scores to look. I look at scores a lot now. I never used to.
Well,
Um,
that's a little bit different though. You're up there, you
well,
know.
but I don't look at scores like a lot of people do. Like I'm not a hit factor guy. So what I mean by that is I don't go up to a stage and go, this is a 10 hit factor. That I just don't really have that talent. I'm not good at that. I just go out, shoot as fast as I can see and try to get all alphas, right? And whether it happens or not from there. But the biggest thing for me is that when I'm looking at scores, it's after I shoot a stage. And what I want to know is, was I top five? Was I consistent? What was my Alpha Charlie count? I don't give a shit about my hit factor. I honestly don't even care about my time. I mean, there's only a few times that I'm just like, whoa, my time's way off here. I need, like, I didn't push or whatever it is. Um, but I'm not looking to try to change my hit factor before I shoot it. I think that's a big mistake for most people. I think you're
You know what?
maybe two
I,
or three guys on the planet that can change that.
yeah, I think that's like putting a speed limit on you. You know,
I,
you're
I
driving the road, you see 75, you're like, oh, I can only go 60 or 70. Like, no,
I
you
mean, it
know.
makes sense if you're on the last stage or last couple stages and you're like, all right, I got to push here. You probably already know that though before you even go into the day. I mean, it's probably pretty rare that I'm going to go into the last day and be like, all right, man, I'm down 3 points. If I'm down 3 points, I'm not pushing anything. I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing
Hmm.
until I know, okay, this guy, I need to go get those 3 extra points and I need to push a little bit more on this stage or whatever it is. But it's very rare that you need to know that on, stage 15 or 10 or 9 of the match. And a lot of guys, I think, just get locked into the scores way too much, and they don't have the talent or the ability to make the changes. Like I hear people
I
talk
think
about it all the time. Like, oh, Eric Graffel said, you know, you were allowed 3 Charlies on this. Do you think Eric walks up to the stage and says, I'm shooting 3 Charlies? Or do you think he walks up to the stage and says, I'm going to shoot my sights and get all alphas? And if he gets a Charlie, he gets a Charlie, right? I highly doubt that these guys that can change their hit factor is going,
my
hey, I
my
want
thing
3 Charlies on this one, buddy. What the hell was
my thing with the people who do that is they're not GMs. Like most of the people I know who are like that, they're not in contention to win a national championship. There are. I'm like, excuse me, sir. You know where you're at right now? Like, how? Why are you going to put that variable in there? You don't even know how to use it yet.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree, dude. It's just, to me, it's too much pressure. I also feel like it's too much thinking about results before I've earned the results, right? Like the results are pretty easy. Like, you know, like how to earn them. You want to get all alphas and be fast as shit. It's that simple. If you keep that mindset, like you're just attacking the A zone and you get a couple of Charlies, you were going to get those Charlies no matter what you did, right?
yeah,
I mean,
for
unless
sure.
you, if you're doing your job, the Charlies are going to happen just because you know they happen. You missed a little bit of aiming or whatever it is. Like I never go on a stage and think, all right, cool, I'm allowed 3 Charlie here. Let's get them. I'm not going to get them if I can keep it from happening.
I like the thing that you always taught me. Oh, you teach all your students is like identify the last target and get there to the last target the fastest you can while
Yeah.
pulling the trigger the entire time.
Scoring
That's
points,
it.
baby. It's the most important target is the last one. So, and if you're not making that the stage plan, then you're not making a good stage plan, period. So it's you know, and then from there, then the difficulty comes in, risk versus reward, all that shit. So and you know, what's your skill versus someone else's skill, and all that stuff. So I think most people fail in that aspect because they look at their skill and say, I don't have that skill. Well, how do you get it? Go do it.
You got
Right?
to do it.
How do you, dude, think about all the things you did at the Nationals this year and that you have never done before. There was a stage that you ran that you shot 2 steel at 25 yards on full sprint and shot them when your dot worked, by the way. You shot them and you came back to me later in the day. I think it was it was one of your worst days, by the way. I think it was day 2. You
That was
came
day
back to
two.
me. You came back to me and you said, dude, I shot those steel on the move. I would never have done that before. And I was
Mm.
like, but you just did. And now it's in your game. It's just
Uh,
confidence, right? It's confidence building. It's understanding like, dude, you've done that in practice in front of me 100. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I almost forgot to even bring this up. And you probably know where I'm going. So
oh, the one-legged thing.
we're walking stages. First thing in the morning of, I think it was day 1. It was you and Sam, and
Hmm.
you're walking stages and you guys started talking about, oh, I don't want to do this or that. And I looked at both of you and I said, stop shooting like bitches. We
Hmm.
literally just practiced all of this and you guys were crushing those things at practice a day ago.
Hmm.
Why would you come here and then go, I can't do it? And you looked at me and he looked at me and you were like, both of you guys
Yep.
were like, shit. Well, you're right. All right, we're gonna shoot it the way we're supposed to shoot it. And I'm like, you literally just told yourself you suck after you just executed it a million times in practice, 1,000 rounds, 800 rounds at practice. You literally just shot all the same exact things I had set up, and you just executed it perfectly. What the hell would you change your stage planning for? And guess what? You ended up executing a lot of that stuff that we talked about that you were afraid to do. Again, results driven. That's the problem. You can't be results driven. You can be process driven. You can't be results
The
driven. As soon as
results
you
driven,
become results
exactly.
driven, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing though. I don't think that I was talking to somebody after the match is like, oh, this and all that. I said, you know what you need to do? You need to just need to make a highlight reel of all the good shit you did in the match. Just
100%.
and then if you have any doubt, and that's something like I used to do, but now I'm gonna start doing again, is I'm gonna make a highlight reel for myself and I'm gonna look at anytime I have a doubt, I'll just pull it out on my phone, say, I just hit these 2 pieces of steel on the move at 25 yards, and I went 1 for 1 on it, and I
Yeah.
bounced. Now it
Yeah.
cost me an FTSA, but
That's one of those. Hey, you guys. That's one of those. Hell yeah. fuck this
Oh,
stage. I'm
dude.
out. Let's go.
Oh, you know
That would
what?
have been
This
a
thought.
mic drop, dude, if you didn't have a gun in your hand.
Yeah, dude.
You're like, I did it. Yes. Oh, forget that target. I'm out of here.
Oh, so I want to talk about that stage.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that's the one where you started in the middle, and there's two paper, two pieces of steel. One of them was the activator for the swing and play on the right. And I'm the only jackass that ran all the way to the front left because it was the same amount of steps. We stepped it out.
Where'd
But
that stage plan come from, though? So don't say you're a jackass. Where'd that stage plan come from?
which one? They go all the way to the left?
Going all the way to the left. Where'd that come from? We
We
talked
talked
about that.
about it.
Yeah, we talked about it the day before we could walk the stage.
Yeah, before we walked the
Right.
stage.
This is
Yeah.
a great, great learning lesson for everybody out there.
The
So we talked about this stage the day before because we had finished the day that we finished the day shift or the
mhm.
afternoon shift, and that was going to be one of our stages in the morning the next
Yep.
day. So we walked that stage at night, which we can't walk, by the way, if IPSC, we weren't allowed to walk on the stage. So we're just walking it from behind and we're coming up.
Observing it.
Yeah, we're observing it and we're kind of getting some ideas on how to shoot it. And I'm like, look, you got to go all the way to this left. And it was a long, long run of nothing, but you had to go over there and there was basically no shooting, no matter how you did it. But if you ran over there first, you could basically attack the stage forward the rest of the way. But I don't know how many steps was it? Probably 25 to 30 to get to that corner.
Yeah, but total was like 52.
Yeah, 52 both ways. So both stage plans were 52 steps. So if you don't know what stepping off is basically what you do is you have a stage plan, and then if it's pretty similar, you can change, you can walk it and see if things are faster. So in other words, if you can save 10 steps, that's a significant save, time saver, because you're not going to be covering as much ground. Now, sometimes there's times where if it's 10 steps more, sometimes it's faster because you're moving forward, shooting things the entire time, versus 10 steps, running 10 steps backwards, not shooting anything. That would probably change the stage plan. So there is some variables in that. Steps don't always mean anything, but they are a good little tool to have added in. Well, this stage, I went right and Alberto decided to go all the way to the left. So I'm excited. Tell them your mindset when you walked up to that stage. Now, this was after a shit day by that. So
Yeah,
he
I
wanted some
told you.
redemption on this one.
I said, I told you I'm gonna crush this motherfucker. I'm going for a home run. That's what I said. And then you okay? So fortunately, what is it like? Lenny Mishalik was shooting
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
and then you had the plan of going. You had either or. You were still deciding, and then you said you saw her shoot it. You're like, you know what? I'm going right. That's what ultimately. I think that's what you said. Is
So
like
I
you all.
started off, I said, oh, I like how she just attacked that stage, because there was this target to the left that everybody wanted to go to on the draw. And it made you end up covering the same ground twice that you wouldn't have to if you ran it the way she did. Now, this was a super odd stage because there was a lot of dead space running. And when you have a stage with a lot of running and dead space, it can become very difficult to figure out those stages because you're trying to find points. Like, you're trying to find, where can I shoot? How can I shoot? And there's a lot of space on that stage where you could not shoot anything. So anybody who could find a better way to keep the gun running was going to do very well on that stage. There was a couple of negatives of that stage. One, you had to run all the way to the front corner to shoot a swinger, but the activator was either on the left side of the stage or dead center in the middle where you started. Well, if you started in the middle, you're now drawing and shooting things. You're not gaining any distance to the last target, like I always say. So now I had a 10-yard, a 12-yard, and then I think there were 30-yard mini poppers. One of them was the activator to the swinger on the right. So the decision was, do we shoot, run, go shoot some stuff, come back to the middle, run to the left, shoot that activator, and then finish in the front right corner? Or do you shoot the activator and stuff standing on the draw, which obviously would going to cost you some time and movement, run to the back right, run forward, run left, and then come finish in the back left corner? So there was so many different options on that stage. It was actually my favorite stage because of all the options. So when I walked up to the stage, even though I had seen Lena run it, I still had in my mind that I wanted to check the original stage plan that I looked at. I wanted to see if that running to the left was going to work. So 4-minute walkthrough on a massive stage. I mean, there was probably 30 or 40 yards of fucking running. It was a shit ton of running, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously 4 minutes. So I immediately just don't even go to the start position. I eliminated the start position completely. I just started walking. I needed to count steps. So I go to the back left and then run the stage like I needed to, get all the way to the far right and finish 52 steps. Now, Alberto doesn't even walk the stage any other way. He's going left no matter what. So I knew from the very beginning that I was going to look at it multiple ways because I've done this a long time and I know there's multiple ways to do things in this sport that will work. It's just which one do you feel the most efficient and which one is the most efficient. So then I run the plan to the right and I just feel the flow of the stage and I'm like, all right, 52 steps, exactly the same. I look at him and I see he hasn't looked at the stage any other way. He's got in his mind, dude, this is it. I'm locked the fuck in. I'm running this stage this way. Now I look at him and I just look at him one time and I go,
are you sure?
I said, are you sure? I'm going right. And that was it. Because again, I'm not there to tell people what to do. He's my boy and I love him to death, but it's his match to shoot, right? It's his experiences. So he's like, I'm going left, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna crush this. Like, okay, you got it, bro. You got it. Were you the first shooter on that stage?
I was the first
You
shooter
were
on
the
that
first
stage.
shooter. So the best part is, and I pay a lot of attention to my friends, especially my really good friends. So he's up there on the line and he's like, let's go, motherfucker. You're going to crush this and you're going to go do this. And he's pep talking himself up. And I look at my buddy Sam and I go, he's going to go get it, baby. He's going to go get it. He's pissed right now. So, and he goes and gets it, right? He goes and gets it. Well, in that go and get it part, go ahead, man. You tell him.
So what I said is like, no guts, no glory. No guts,
That's
no
it.
glory.
Yes,
No
no
guts, no
cuts, no
glory.
glory.
That's like, I was dead set. It was like, this is going to happen or fucking bust. That's it.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a bust. But okay, so
I don't think it was a bust, dude. Honestly, it was only a bust because you forgot that target. But I felt like that was one of your best stages you had ever shot. You really shot that stage well.
Yeah. So I go straight forward and then come all the way left. And I set up and I had probably like the fastest transitions from paper to steel. I crushed the back end. And the people were like, I know people were talking about it like, damn, that was fucking quick.
It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. And then I went in, I crashed, I hit the activator in the steel. And that was the crucial part of the stage right there. Because if you hit that, there's an open paper behind the barrel that I missed.
And you had to go into the far left, like it was a stopped position.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard. It was easy to forget for sure.
Easy to forget. So my excitement of hitting the 2 steel went like, oh, you just fucking crushed it. Go. and that wasn't what it should have been. It was steel, get to the corner, pop
hold,
2, hold, and then freaking launch using the fault line to launch and turn my body. Well, that didn't happen. It was steel. And I need a turn, and then I didn't have anything to push off hard. So I went back to the left corner, paper, and then I think that was that was awesome because I hit the paper that everyone wanted to back into, draw into. And then that middle position, I flew right through it because there was no steel to stop. And then I went to the right, went to what got me was the swinger plate one, but because my dot wasn't really zero. But after in the end, I'm like, all right, I crushed this. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, something don't seem right. And they were calling up the score. And I saw the paper. I was like, oh, motherfucker, I just missed that bitch.
You knew it too. So like the thing is that right side is where you finish, right? So as soon as he walks up, it's the next target. It's like, oh, dude, you just that stage.
Here's the best part about it. It was like 2 Charlies.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Well, excuse me, 2 my FTSA, but 2 Charlies.
You can't. It's still not. It's only 2 Charlies, bro. We're not even talking. It's Instagram or the internet. You don't have to talk about the rest of it.
No. What you do is you speed up your videos like 0.9, and then you just edit that part out. Huh. There's only 400 people that went to that match. There's
Dude, you don't
billions of
have to
people.
speed up the video. You already were faster because you didn't shoot at everything.
No, no, it needs to be about 10 splits, dude. Everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, but yeah, but looking back at it, I was like, dude, I crushed a lot of things on the stage. Just a stupid, you know. And back to the whole mentality of the second day. It was being frustrated and being just enraged and being sad and want to cry. And I was like, dude, I just want to. And all that emotions went to blocking you out, not listening. It's like, dude, I should have just listened to you. And I was like, I should have went right. But yeah, back to the people listening or watching is like, if you have a top level GM on your squad and he's telling you not to do something, just do what they're saying, because I'm pretty sure they've been in this situation before. So
That's
yeah.
a good topic. I'll bring that up real quick because I still don't understand this. Um, I don't I don't have a lot of conversations with top GMs. I don't like when I'm shooting with those guys. I never tell them how to shoot stages. They don't tell me how to shoot stages. I don't tell them how to shoot. They don't tell me how to shoot, all that kind of stuff. You just don't have to, right? They're shoot. They already know what to do. But I will never understand. And this was one thing that I think I was very good at when I first started. And even still today, I still pay attention and listen to other opinions. Even if I don't think they're better, I still listen. I take them in. I try to use them. I try to see, maybe it is better. Maybe it, like the whole conversation about crossing your feet. Like it's once you know something is more efficient, it's not an argument. It's like, I'm just going to listen to what you say. And if you don't want to hear what I have to say, I just dismiss you completely, right? It's not that I can't have a disagreement with you. It's not that I can't, that you have to agree with me. I'm fine with you disagreeing with me. It's the fact that you're telling me I'm full of shit when I'm standing here proving to you that there's another and better, more efficient way, more accurate way. That's
Hmm.
when I kind of just lose respect for people. Um,
Yeah, it's an absolute position because you figured it out, right?
And
Like
again, it's like it's not an absolute position for me because I've gotten to the point now where I don't care if you want to be worse. It's like if you don't want to listen to what I have to say, that's fine. If like the funny part is the guys that argue the most are the ones that don't even beat me. So it's like obviously you got it all figured out. Not really sure why you follow my page. But the biggest thing for me is like I don't understand when there's a top shooter on a squad, whether you like him or don't like him. Now, I don't think it's a liking issue with me, but listen, like if that guy is saying, I'm not going that, now this has nothing to do, this is our squad in general. I notice this a lot. If that guy says, hey, I'm going here, I'm going to go, why? Not no fucking way. That's like, there's a reason that I'm doing it. It's not, there's never there's never a unplanned schedule or thing for me. It's like I've thought of everything. Foot placement, exits, entries, backing up versus running forward, getting how long does it take me to get my gun up here? Is the reload going to be fast or slow? Can I come in comfortable? Do I have time to get the gun up? Like all these things are processed in my stage plan. So when I say I'm going to do this, it's probably the most efficient thought process. Might not be the most efficient plan for you, but
Hmm.
you should probably look at it and go, why is he doing that instead of what I'm doing? So like, especially when somebody like me who likes to coach and I go, hey, like maybe that's not the most efficient way, or even better, because I don't usually coach people when I'm shooting with them. But like if you hear me talking to my buddies and saying, hey, this is why I'm doing this, you should probably like, oh, okay, got it. Like, but
Yeah, you better get a microphone.
it amazes me the difference in how I was and how a lot of shooters are today. Maybe a lot of people were like that when I was starting and I just didn't pay attention or know anybody. But if somebody was really good and I walked stages near them, man, I took it all in. It was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, well, they're way better than I am. Maybe I should look at it that way.
Hmm.
It's very odd to see people just completely disregard what a top shooter says or does on a stage, and still go with their own stage plan. It's just a super odd thing to me. Maybe it's a fear thing. Maybe it's I don't think I can do that stuff. But I mean,
You know,
it's weird.
uh, yeah, like like shooting with you, especially like people, you asked me this question before. It's like, does this like when because I'm always behind you. It's Castro Cologne,
Yeah.
Castro Cologne, and you're like, hey, like being behind me, does that affect like me? And I was like, no, not really. I mean, I just I got my plan. I'm gonna do it this way, and then we obviously discuss like what to do and stuff together. But sometimes I look at it as like, damn, that's fucking pretty badass. Like I'm gonna do that. Like I learned a lot from just watching you shoot. It's not even the shooting part. It's like at your feet. Oh, that's the reason why he got in this position because he's all squared up to this target, and that's how he got two alphas. And then, you know, knucklehead three three shooters down was in some crazy position. So, you know, yeah, like why not? If you have somebody who's super experienced on the squad or definitely a higher level, why not? I mean, you could learn so much from night overhearing them when they talk or just watching them shoot. Like, oh, okay, maybe I should not do that.
I just don't, I think a lot of people will just get, I don't know whether it's fear or they just don't
I think part of it's fear. Yeah, because
like
like
they're
some,
not, they're so afraid to mess up. And I'm like, bro, but you're already messing up. Like that's another
yeah,
thing I try to explain to people. Like, if you already have an inefficient plan, you've already messed up. Like it's like, so
yeah.
it's like you can't, so now you've messed up twice because you didn't listen and then or you didn't I guess listen because you didn't hear what we were all talking about. I don't know. It's just like, to me, that's it's an odd thing to be, um, a low
Wait, wait,
shooter and not pay attention. Like, man, I'm telling you, dude, whenever I shot with somebody that was better than me, even when I was C class and there was like a B class and an A class guy, man, I was just like a sponge. I just sucked it all in. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, well, that makes sense. Like, but I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people that probably shouldn't be telling other people how to shoot, but I brought it, I took it all in, dude. And it was kind of interesting. Kind of, I always, kind of just pay a lot of attention to people that are around me because of the way that I am treated. And it's always weird to me when I see people just not like, they're not paying attention. Right. And it's not because it's me, but like they'll be with another top guy. And I'm like, man, why aren't you listening to like watching that guy? Like you should be
mhm.
listening to that dude. It's just interesting. It's always an interesting thing. A lot of closed-minded people. A lot of closed-minded people in shooting, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do is like, well, the higher you get, the closer those doors get closed, man. They're
Yeah.
like, well, I made it here. I got all the success. I don't really need more, type stuff.
Yeah, that status
But
thing is horseshit, dude.
mhm.
I can't stand that shit. Like I meet
I
new
see that more.
I meet new people all the time, and I'm just like, let's introduce ourselves like normal people. Like I'm not special. Like I'm good at shooting, but what the fuck does that mean in real world?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even mention like what's my class. I didn't in my introduction. I don't give a fuck about that
Yeah,
shit. Yeah,
yeah.
like whoopie doo. It's a letter. It doesn't dictate my
Well,
life.
you're D class for getting targets. That's for damn sure.
No, the
Uh,
F class. It doesn't even exist.
is there an F class? We got to come up with that, bro.
Yeah,
That's
mine
good.
failure.
That might
Yeah.
be your grade.
Yeah.
It's not your class. It's your grade
No,
for
no, no, no,
no.
no. Because you get the F, you just draw the B around it. Yeah.
We're gonna cheat. That's our cheating classification where you just
Yeah.
start drawing your own letters.
Yeah, exactly. Ballpoint pen. Remember that. Trace
Let
it
me
out first
fix
with
it.
a pencil first.
Yeah, pencil first. You can erase it.
Uh, then you go on the backside, you just remove the pencil mark. So,
That's awesome.
don't ask me how I know.
All right, brother. You got anything else?
Well, that's it. Yeah, I will say the match. Well, let's talk about real quick. The stages were great.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
will talk about it in IPSC Nationals, uh, which we've been talking about the whole time. Dude, it was one of the best matches I've ever been to. The
Hmm.
stages were phenomenal. It's definitely the best match. I shouldn't say the best match because between this match and Carry Optics Nationals 2024, where everybody was there, those stages and this match were definitely the two best matches I've been to in a very, 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 very long time. And two of the best matches at Cardinal for sure. This year, um, Cardinal is not my favorite range due to the ground cover and basically zone one usually sucks. It's because of the berms. It's not really stage wise. It's just very limited in berm situation. Um, and this year, I don't know if it was because it was IPSC and you didn't have to have, you couldn't have like 32 round stages everywhere. But they just did. It was a great match from stage one. I think there was only one stage I disliked, and I think it was stage 2. It was the one we finished on with the
The
one
single,
round shot.
yeah, that was
That
dumb.
single
But
round shot sucked. I thought that stage was absolutely terrible, mainly because it was 8,000 yards of running and almost no shooting. That just wasn't my favorite stage for sure. I mean, it was still an okay stage, but it would have been great if they would have made that with 2 shots per pay, or just put a little more dynamic to that stage, in my opinion.
I would say, oh, real quick, I was just say
But
like USPSA really need to consider about putting plates in their matches.
I hopefully they've talked about it. It's
I mean, it's been done. I mean, this match is a great example of how you could
I
do it.
dude, it's you know how it goes, man. It's all about personal like feelings about things. So who knows?
Mhm.
But yeah, I enjoy the plate thing. The one thing I love about plates is it's either a hit or not a hit. There's no calibration. It either goes down or it doesn't go down. And I know leaning is one of the things, but one of the reasons why they don't do plates is because the bases can be hit. And when you
Yeah.
hit the base, it kind of, you might be able to knock a steel over, even though technically you never hit a steel. So that's why they started putting those hard covers in front. And man, it's really worked out very well. So it's,
Hmm.
the rules are a little bit different for IPSC and USPSA in that aspect. I hope they do it. Um, because
Swinging plates too.
proper calibration. Yeah, dude, that was fun. I really did enjoy those. I think that a swinging plate is the same as what you're supposed to be doing on a swinger. Most people just don't
Hmm.
aim on a swinger; they just sling to it brown. So it's really cool to kind of show, like, hey, look, if you aim at the swinger the same way, you could actually get alphas,
That's
just
a
like you
totally
are.
different topic for
Yeah,
another
yeah,
time.
just like the swinger, the metal swinger. So it's crazy. But Matt Hopkins, as always, just absolutely crushes stage designs. And funny that Matt Hopkins also designed a lot of the stages at that Nationals that I'm talking about from 2024.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's a Matt Hopkins stage. Like he's a baller stage
Well, what
designer.
is he? What is he, dude? He's a shooter.
He's a shooter,
So
and he has
instead
a,
of
a lot of experience with big
100%,
matches.
he's a shooter. So like if you have shooters designing stages for shooters, you're going to probably have a pretty good match. But the whole crew did awesome. They were pretty shorthanded from what I heard on staff for setup and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but we never had an issue with officiating. Everything went pretty smooth. I mean,
It was
I
probably
think
one of the best ones officiating wise I've been to there too.
yeah, no weird calls. Even the particular competitor asked for a double to look at, and it was
Yeah.
very fair, very professional. So nothing, it
Yeah, I
was
was
great.
definitely part of that double call, by the way. I definitely told him to look for a double
Yeah.
because it was the oddest looking hole I have ever seen on a swinger,
Hmm.
for sure. And he was not a douchebag. Like he was a great guy the whole time we shot with him. He didn't try to pull any shit, and he definitely like we were talking about it, and I walked over and looked at it with him, and I said, "Bro, I would 100% ask for another call on this." And just go through the process as much as you can. And when the range master came over, he looked at it extremely hard. So he saw what we saw, right? And
Hmm.
then when he was looking at it, obviously the call, I shouldn't say obviously, but the call ended up being a mic. But man, it was I don't know. He probably looked at the damn thing for 4 to 5 minutes. It was a tough, tough, tough call.
Yeah, he
Uh,
said it looked weird. Yeah,
yeah,
he
it
was
was
like,
weird
oh,
looking, and on a
yeah.
swinger too. Like so like the I don't want to say it was a tear. I still think it was a hit, but the call is what it is. But it was a little bit low. So it was like it was in the middle, and then one just a little bit low is what it looked like. But the paper kind of tore in a weird, super odd way. So like imagine a swinger going left to right. You would think the tear would be to the left, or the tear would be to the right. Instead, it was
It
down.
was straight down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it looked like a bullet, a second bullet in there when you put the overlay on it. It's just a super hard call. I don't think you. It's kind of like I've seen some really good doubles that go into mics and you just couldn't make the call. I mean, I've shot a couple where I'm just like, I would have given me a mic too.
Yeah.
It's like I watched the bullet go in the same hole with a
Hmm.
rifle, and I'm like, yeah, I would have given me a mic also. Like, how do you argue that? Like, I mean, you just there's no way you could see it. And but yeah, I thought the match was awesome. Definitely
Hmm.
congratulations to those guys. They crushed it for sure.
They crushed it, yeah. And that's my first time at Cardinal. Obviously, I heard all the horror stories about falling and stuff like that, but never had an issue with the rocks, for myself at least. But yeah, the match was great. They did a great job.
Well,
Shout out to everybody.
fortunately, fortunately, we worked on some of the movement stuff for that. We talked about that before you got there. I said, bro, you got to chop all the way in. You can't really crash like you want to. There's,
Hmm.
when you come into these positions, you got to chop like you're doing a football move. You can't really come running in and like want to roll in like we always do in a crash and then walk in kind of scenario. There's a lot of run stop, at that match. So we kind of prepared for that in our training, even the way I set up the stages on the last day before we
Hmm.
got there. So it's like, that you kind of have a little bit of bonus there, but nothing prepares you for that shitty ground cover.
Yeah, it
No.
sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing prepares you for that ground cover.
And the rocks are magnetic too. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that fell at that match. A
Yeah,
lot. I know.
unfortunately.
I think they said at Area 5, like 25 or 30 people fell.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's a
wild.
shit ton. So yeah, there's a lot of, I know they're working on it, but man, that is one hell of a surface to put on a ground with running guns.
Yeah, I know. That's kind
Oh,
of scary.
it's how it is. But luckily no one's ever gotten hurt. And I think they've really been working on it. I know they ran out of time before the match. I was talking to Dan and Corey, and the big bays, they changed a lot of the surface. And I was like, bro, forget those big bays. Get those little ass bays fixed, because those are the ones that are like ice skating. So it's rough.
It's rough
But you know how it is, man. It's just what it is. It's time and money.
for sure.
I wouldn't want that job.
No, no, I don't. Yeah,
I wouldn't want that
who know?
job.
We won't even know how much. I don't even want to know how much it's gonna cost to put new rocks down.
It's I'm sure it's costly, but dude, just the tractor alone, forget the material, the tractor
The
running the
diesel.
machine. Yeah, running that
Mm-hmm.
machine with the fuel costs right now, shit. It's probably crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
all right, brother. Well, you got anything else?
No, I know you're going to the World Shoot in less than 10 days or something like that, and
14
then
days, I think it's 14 days, baby. 14
yeah, man,
days.
that's
It's the
awesome.
best I've
So
ever felt, man. I leave this weekend for one more big practice. I'm gonna go back to Ohio, shoot with my buddy Sam, who made the senior team, baby. He's on the
let's
senior
go.
world shoot team. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I've said this, but I'm officially on the pistol world shoot team, and I get to shoot for gold,
Whoa,
baby.
that's awesome, dude.
So,
Congratulations, man. Oh, well, I already said that, but
yeah.
it's
Unfortunately,
awesome.
Max Michelle wasn't able to make it. I'm not going to tell his story. I'll let him tell his story on his own. But big shout out to that guy. I'm sorry that I hate taking a spot like this, but hopefully I can fill his shoes. I've worked my ass off for this for 8 years, and let's go. This is
Think
the best Tom Castro version I think I've ever seen on the range. That's for sure.
that's for sure. I agree with that
So
one.
I feel pretty good, dude. I've been working really hard for this, and it's an honor to represent my country. It's been a
I
long
think
journey,
that's.
dude. It's been a long journey.
I don't think anybody realized like how important it is to wear the red, white, and blue on your back
Well,
and represent the
it
country.
probably means more to me than any of those other guys,
Hmm.
because of the bullshit that I've been put through in this sport. Like, it's not been an easy road here, dude. It's been a rough road. They've attacked me over and over and over again. And
Hmm.
I'm not going to talk about it now, but they came after me again before I got my spot. And
We'll talk about it afterwards.
yeah, it's going to be an after story for sure, because they're not getting let off the hook. That's for sure. They pulled some big shit on me on this one, and including a teammate. So I'm gonna play nice for a little while. I'm gonna go win my gold medal with the guys. Try to get an individual gold medal. I've worked hard for this and I've earned it. And best part is they can't take it from me. So even though they tried PCC and now they tried this one. It's pretty wild, but you know what? I get to sit back a little bit and enjoy my accomplishment, because nobody can take what I earned. I've worked my ass off for this for 8 years, and I think other than Justine,
I think
nobody,
you're all. Nobody's done two world shoots in the
nobody's
same
done
year.
2 world shoots. But
Oh
the biggest
well,
thing
it
for me,
matter.
bro, is it's an alternate for one. I earned alternates for both. Alternate for
Hmm.
one, and then I ended up getting this spot because someone had to drop out. Max had to drop out. So
I don't
it's
think people
pretty cool.
realize what it takes. Like that means you have to be very competitive in two divisions, and then they're not even the same. So you have a rifle, and then you have a pistol. So
I think the other thing is not just so much the platform. I mean, obviously, I think that's pretty difficult. That's why not a lot of people do it. But I don't think people understand the time that it's taken me to get 8 years. It's a long time, dude, to accomplish a goal in this sport. That's the first thing. Like that's how long my goal has been to be on the world shoot team and make the world shoot, not just go to the world. I didn't realize anybody could just go to the world shoot, but to actually earn my
A team
slots.
slot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not just the team, but like earn a slot. Like an alternate, you have to earn that. That's not just given to you because somebody likes you. Trust me, if they were just giving it to me, it wouldn't mean as much. That's the first thing. Number two, they probably wouldn't give it to me. That's how much they can't stand the fact that I've earned it. But it's, dude, I actually, for the first time, probably sitting here with you, I actually feel like, wow, I fucking earned that. And I actually get to enjoy the accomplishment, right? Like, even if I don't get a medal, even if something happens, I earned this, right? So like, that's to me is a giant accomplishment that they can't take away. I've worked so hard for this, and it's a pretty amazing feeling, dude. It really is. Like I get to sit down just for a couple seconds here and, put the work away and just go like, all right, baby, like we're not done yet. We're not even close to done yet, but yeah, we're there.
It's great. Yeah, it is.
We're there. Yeah, it's cool.
Especially the year you've been having. So
yeah. I feel like this is the best I've ever been, mentally, physically. I don't think you're ever done in this sport. Honestly, I don't think you're ever done getting better, and I think that's what keeps my dumbass coming back. But it's pretty cool to see, like, I'm peaking at the right time. Like PCC, it was the same way. I was all that training. I think I figured out how to get ready for majors, just like the timing wise. I think I got a little more dialing in with the physical stuff, like try not to beat myself up too much before I get there. But I definitely have a personality that's like, it's really difficult to go, man, but I could have trained more. I could have trained that last day. I could have worked out harder that last day. Like, but at the end of the day, it's almost like overtraining. You forget your body only has so much, right?
No, that's true though. But it's the old analogy of the 65-year-old man in a rocking chair. You're either gonna be like, I wish I would have done it, or I'm glad I did it.
I try to live my life with no regrets, bro.
Exactly.
That's for sure. It's working out so far.
Works great.
It's working out so far. I quit 2 different jobs. I created a construction business working in another business that nobody thought I could do. And then I quit a very successful construction business to go do this. And somehow I became successful at this, right? So it's like, no fear, baby. Just go get it. But if you put the work in, there is no fear, right? I mean, I just work hard and it magically takes care of itself.
Hard work always pays off.
Let's go, baby. If that doesn't motivate your ass before you get off this podcast, I don't know what does.
I don't know. Just cross your feet.
That's it. Cross your feet, and then it's over. All right, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us. I want to thank Alberto for coming on. And it's been an awesome podcast. I know we went a little bit long. It's kind of weird. I didn't realize we were on here for 2 hours. But I'm going to probably post this in one podcast. I'm going to do like a Joe Rogan podcast and just, you guys got to sit on here for 2 hours and enjoy it, baby. All right. If you got any questions, hit me up in those comments and I'll see you on the range.